Hello, everybody! What the hell was that, Jay? Welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. This is session 11. We are getting started a little bit late because of technical difficulties. Roll 20. I have a love-hate relationship with you, but we're not going to go into that. Because instead, we're going to play some D&D!
Woo-woo!
Woo-woo! So there might be some inconsistencies or broke shit in tonight's session, but hopefully I have managed to cobble together enough of a good fix that it shouldn't be too terribly effed off. So, fingers crossed. Lots of finger crossing. So, anyways, you guys ready to go ahead and get things started?
I'm ready.
Yeah. We're
Yeah!
ready.
Alright, let's roll into a recap of session 10. So, previously on Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the goblinoids of the Gricksnack Watchpost lay dead or fleeing in your wake, but the tunnels eastward held your true goal. In the darkness beyond lay the Grick, hideous slug snakes with tentacled heads and large stony beaks meant to rip and tear flesh. Ashes, already in his were form, led the way into the tunnels, and within a few moments you found your first Grick, feasting upon one of the fleeing goblins. As battle ensued, a second Grick sprung from the nearby rubble, revealing their predilection towards ambush. Wow, that typing is loud.
Oh, sorry.
We gotta fix that one, man. We'll get there, though. No worries. Though hideous and dangerous when surprised, the Grick proved no match for your combined forces. Moving eastward, Bones began to scout forward, hoping to find any more Grick before they were able to ambush the party. In doing so, you heard a sobbing hidden away by an unmoving door, but you also heard the low sandpaper grinding sound of Grick moving. Bones used this opportunity to bait the awaiting Grick, hurling a water skin out into the open that was quickly set upon. Using this opportunity, you all shouldered together in an entry hall, attempting to provide a solidified front. This proved only marginally successful, though, as the Grick began to climb the walls around you in order to press their numerical advantage. Still, deprived of their chance at an ambush, this den of Grick proved unable to defeat you. After the battle, you investigated the crying and discovered a human thief named Kellum, who seemed dazed and distraught from his experience. He told you of the group he had been hired by, the fine fellows of Daggerford, and he warned you of the group's leader, Rex. Kellum also thanked you for saving him by gifting you a tome that he had found, a wizard's spellbook. After this, he left, hoping to return to the surface and escape this den of horror. After a short rest, you ventured southwest, only to run into a dead end. A quick check found a secret door, and beyond, a monstrous Grick, nesting below an upside-down throne resting upon the ceiling, upon which sat a mummified Minotaur. Stone piles strewn throughout the room made you all cautious, and the Grick seemed unwilling to attack you, repeatedly hissing a warning call. But when Ashes strode forward and growled at the creature, combat ensued. Ezrah was able to hypnotize the beast, giving the rest of the party valuable time to make certain there were no hiding enemies. That done, the party encircled the Grick Alpha and unleashed upon it. This onslaught savaged the beast, but due to its unnaturally thick hide, it was able to survive the assault and retaliate. Still, your combined forces felled it and put to rest a monstrous entity that could have filled the coming power vacuum. And right before we left off, because it was a whole bunch of combat last session, but right before we left off, you guys tried to decide how to deal with the upside down throne, and seeking to investigate it, Matashtai had Ashes throw him up to it, which had unexpected results.
Which worked.
That's definitely a way of saying it. It definitely did work. So, let's toss you guys over to the first level of the dungeon real quick. Hop on over here. Okay. So,
Can't see any.
can you not see anything? Check your
I
lighting.
can.
Your lighting is not correct.
It's literally the blackest of nights. Also a great. Oh no, JK, I see me.
Yeah, you are down there. You are down. You guys have sight. Matashtai does not have sight because it did not save settings. Matashtai, what had we done?
He had
How
a
did
hooded
we-
lantern. or
We
some
had like a
bullshit.
lantern that I followed that was connected to me.
He also had a torch. He
Gotcha.
had both.
Both. Oh, was that like that like-
That's concerning.
on your character?
I think
I believe there was something special about it because he was using, like, what was it, hooded lantern for a bit, but then
Oh yeah,
using-
yeah. No. My concern is basically whether or not they were two separate tokens.
I think you only moved the one and it worked.
Yeah.
You might have had two separate things that you attached together.
Hmm. All right, so we're gonna set your light. What's your normal vision range with just like a lantern? Oh, I remember
I
what
think
it
it's
was.
3060.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's so with your regular lantern, it's normal. It's the occasion on which you decide to use the bullseye lantern that's the weird finicky one. So,
Yeah, that's when we have to do the custom one. Where
yeah, so we're gonna so I'm gonna set you to basically just a regular lantern right now. And all would see it, and that would be fine. So we're gonna and clicking that has stopped my Roll20 from working. This is the life I live right now. Lesai. So, that hopefully that fixed your sight. Can you see yourself now? In a moment.
Are you zoomed all the way out so you know
Are
where to
you
look?
zoomed out? Okay. All right. Well, it might not have taken because it did basically break the fucking program when I clicked it. So, it's entirely possible that it was like, no, sir. We are not accepting that change right now. All right, so let's kick it on over. Okay, so what do we got real quick? Okay, so oh, I know what it is. You're the last person to come into the freaking thing. You have not been given control of your character sheet and or any associated tokens. Cuz everyone
that makes
everyone
sense.
else got in earlier. So, there you go.
That's Mitch's fault.
Yeah, it's totally Mitch's fault. No. It's me having to recreate the entire game's fault. That's the fault that it is. So, you should be able to see now.
What are we seeing? What happened?
Actually gonna do real quick as I'm
Hello?
Yes. Hello.
I couldn't tell if I was being heard or not.
Yes, you are heard. Mitch should be able to see now. Yay?
I can
Yay?
see.
You can see. Awesome. Okay. So, what happens when Matashtai is thrown up into the air by ashes? Well, I say thrown, but really like you launch yourself off of ashes is basically how it
Alley-ooped.
happens. Yeah. Is you go up about, what was it, about 10 to 13 feet, right? Just above like real jump height, right? And as you're like going up, you suddenly hang in the air for a moment, and you do this sort of kind of like weird zero gravity like tilt spin, right? and then all of a sudden gravity kicks back in, but it kicks in reverse, right? Gravity kicks in for the ceiling instead of the floor, and you go hurtling towards basically the open space right in front of the throne upon which this mummified Minotaur is sitting, and there's this big-ass battle axe right there. I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Boom. Well, it shouldn't be an advantage, but whatever.
It doesn't matter. 23 is more than enough. Yeah, so as you were startled, right, by the switch in gravity, but it doesn't throw you off balance enough to cause you any harm. As you go crashing down, or crashing upwards rather, right, you were able to, kind of like a cat, right, you do the whole swing your body, get your feet underneath you, and you're able to land crouched with this battle axe kind of like in your face.
You okay? You good?
I look up at him.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey,
Is that it's not normal.
this is pretty weird.
Yeah.
Now the depending on the position in the room, right, where you're at, right, the throne is on this little, maybe like a foot riser. So depending on the location in the room, the height of the ceiling is either 20 to 25 feet, right? You being, assuming that both of you are close-ish to 6 feet tall, right? Maybe give or take a little bit. You could stretch out hands, right? And still not be able to touch each other. Hello, Odie. I didn't raise my hand because it was pet time, but I'll pet you anyways, boy.
I think it's always pet time.
It's always pet time. But as you kind of like you talk over to Ashes, right? There's this big throne with a kind of desiccated husk of a Minotaur. Both eyes are jewels, right? What do you want to do? Don't scratch. No, sir.
Well,
Scratch.
does this battle axe I let in here look like anything special?
The battle axe is not special, no. So you look at it and it's a great axe, sorry, not a battle axe. But it looks old. The haft is kind of worn and looks like brittle, like it has that consistency of it's a wood haft, it's not metal, right? So you can see where the wood has kind of warped and kind of like aged and cracked, right? The head of the axe itself seems fine, right? But it doesn't. Most weapons of magical make don't tend to decay with time. So.
Okay. I still got a bad vibe about this dude sitting in a chair and a weapon sitting nearby. So I'm gonna chop off the haft of that battle axe with Tanmakiri.
Oh, easy enough. You barely even have to put any pressure. So you basically just bring the spear tip to the haft and it just shatters beneath the edge of your blade.
All right.
Good foresight.
I'm gonna walk over to the throne. I'm gonna inspect the throne. Is there anything, runes, any wording, anything like that?
Gotcha. So what you actually up close and personal is the how familiar would you say Matashtai is with like gemstones or gem cutting or things like that? Like, is that a foreign thing to him, or does he kind of like know basics, or?
He doesn't know them very well, but he did grow up in the Adar Mountains, which have plenty of mines.
Sure. So he had at least a base familiarity. Like, he could probably identify your more common gemstones at a glance, but maybe
like,
not.
He's not going to see a blue one and be like, that's a lapis lazuli with a coating of sapphire laced with cat's eye.
Gotcha. Okay. So as you approach the stone or the throne with the Minotaur in it, and you look about for anything, there are no runes. There's no written language. There's nothing suggestive in that nature. The stone throne itself is mostly plain. There are some kind of like tribal decorations patterns up the side of it, right? Little bandings like Gaelic or Celtic style, those types of things, like interwoven things that line the outer edge of the throne. But it's only like 3 of them up one side and up the back of the chair and then down the other side. So the entire thing's not like marked or etched or lined or anything like that. There's nothing. There are no signs of wealth or opulence, right? There's no silver filigree or etchings of gold. It's just this desiccated, and don't get me wrong, it's a husk, but it's still a Minotaur, so it's still a big, beefy individual compared to yourself, right?
Sure.
But it's wrapped, right? Full on, like, wrapped in most portions of its body in old, dun-colored bandages at this point, weathered with time. And the face is kind of obscured because while it's all dried out and cracked, the really, like, demanding portion is the gemstones in the eyes. And I would say you have enough familiarity with gemstones, from what you were saying, to recognize that one is a rather large agate, right? Specifically, it's banded. So agate is kind of this more rust-colored, brownish type thing, and it has these bands of deep green across it. And then the other is zircon, which is sometimes called like the Fool's Diamond.
Okay. So is like the throne the only real thing up here?
So there's as you guys saw earlier, right, there are a couple of scattered pieces of rubble, like piles of rubble, right? But you guys have kind of knocked those about. And then there is this riser, right, which is about a foot high. And that riser is maybe about a little bigger than like a 10 by 10. And the throne itself fills up the majority of that riser. The only thing else other than the throne is the battle axe, and then there's like a little... The throne itself is large enough that there's a little foothold, right, where the feet of the Minotaur, the Minotaur's feet don't sit directly on the riser. They sit on this little like foothold section, and then that's maybe about a 6-inch overlap with the riser. But other than that, there's nothing else up here.
Okay.
So how do you think this is going to screw us over?
Matt!
Yeah.
I want his horns.
You want his horns?
Yes, the horns, both of them.
All right.
Does he have both 2 horns? There's one broken, like a Tauren on the range.
No, they're not. They're not broken like a Tauren on the range. He has 2 horns. Both are old, cracked.
I don't
But-
want them anymore. I didn't
so
know they were cracked.
this thing is ancient. Matashtai.
Disregard. Please don't take its
Like
horns. That'll probably make it mad.
you see, this thing has been here for a long time, a very long time.
Like seemingly longer than even this room.
So that's hard to say, right? Because the dwarven architecture here is kind of misleading. The way dwarves make things is kind of this crazy, ever young, everlasting style of architecture. So, but that is to say, you can still tell, right, with a lot of the ruins that you've been exploring through, that this place is ancient. But then trying to take something like that and then comparing it to something like this, it's a hard sell, right? It's like,
I guess what I was trying to do was being like, does it seem like Halaster was like, you know what I'm really going to do that's going to really mess with them? Put a anti-grav field up here and a throne with a dead Minotaur in it.
well,
That'll
I
get 'em.
mean, so your line of reasoning, it isn't bad there, right? There is nothing else in this room to suggest, and the architecture itself looks dwarven, yes, but there's nothing else in this room to suggest that this should be here.
Okay.
Well, I'm not too keen on desecrating a corpse.
I don't want them anymore. They're cracked.
All right.
Matashtai, you would know
So-
that the agate, right, is a gemstone that you could sell for a bit, right? Not a crazy amount, but it would fetch a price. The zircon, however, is worth something.
Pop it out. We're nothing if not Tomb Raiders.
I'm also a sucker for a good story beat.
Hey,
So now I'm super curious.
you do you, fam. Walk away. Just actually now I'm less interested in any of this, and I'm more interested in how is Matashtai getting down from here?
Getting back? No idea.
Oh no, this is super
He's gonna
easy.
jump
because
real
somebody has
hard.
thrown a grappling hook up there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
suppose
the
you
thing
just
about
told
it
me.
is though, I guess.
Mhm,
Did you have you kept hold of the other end of the grappling hook? I'm assuming.
You said it broke the barrier and just went to the ground up there.
Well, yeah, the grappling hook
So it's
just
currently just hanging there.
yeah, it's dangling like you would climb up it.
So if he grabs one end, I'll grab the other, and I'll just
Yank him down.
pull him down.
Probably.
That's wonky as shit.
It's gonna be like a astronaut pulling themselves through space. That's what it's gonna be. But yeah, it's there. If no one,
How much
if
do you weigh? I'll weigh more.
if no one let go
I
of
don't
the
weigh a
other
lot.
end, it's just hanging there.
I don't know who had the other end. It was not me.
I
Whose grappling
think
hook was it?
I don't have a
Thought-
grappling hook. Ezra's the only one with the grappling hook, right?
But
I don't think
but
I used
Ezra
mine.
didn't throw it. That's the thing.
I have a grappling.
Oh, it was probably Matt's then.
Then unless someone else is holding the other end is up there with you.
Well, then just throw me.
I
the
mean, you could
other-
just throw it back, right?
Yeah.
Is the theory. But
So, I think it would be out of character for Matt to take these gems. He's not really into material wealth all that much, and he isn't big on desecrating corpses. But he does kind of let the group know what's up here.
Boost my ass up there. I'll take him. What the fuck?
You know what I'm not a big fan of? Aggroing an undead Minotaur.
It's definitely not undead. It's just dead.
I throw the grappling hook down to Bones.
okay.
I am not strong. You should not have done it to me.
Well, I mean, I'm up here. I can pull you up.
As the metal end, right? Assuming Matashtai is holding one end, right? As the grappling hook end hits the barrier, it loses all momentum, hangs there for a second, and then just
Plummets?
plummets down to the ground.
Sure.
And just clang, 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 rebounds off of it.
Why is it upside down? Do we try and figure that out? Let's send Ezra up there.
Yeah, is there anything else on the ceiling that's
I
also
just
like
asked
upside
that.
down and out of place?
I asked that before.
There's-
There's nothing else weird.
There's the
here.
riser, the throne, the Minotaur, the battle axe, and the foothold, I guess, if you want to count that.
Hmm.
Ooh. Are there any secret levers to unleash a treasure trove underneath its throne?
Oh, great question.
I would like to search for hidden buttons
Okay.
or levers.
Levers. Searching for levers.
Here, do you want to wait for me to get up there to do that, or do you
I,
want to just do
I
it?
want us both up here, yeah.
Okay.
So grab the grappling hook, put your foot in the thing.
In the
Oh,
hook?
there's a loop on it. Okay.
Yeah, put your foot in the hook
All right.
there.
All right. I'm hooked
Oh, sorry,
up.
I got pull up. I got.
I'm ready.
You find Matashtai as you pull Bones.
Yeah.
It looks like he's just making arm motions.
Sure.
And Matashtai, as you pull, you're straining, but what you're straining against doesn't seem to be the other end of the grappling hook. You see basically like the midway point go taut, and like you're pulling against it.
Mm.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Super
Well,
fun.
you're gonna have to climb.
How tall is the ceiling?
About 20-25 feet.
Oh, that's a lot of feet. That's more feet than I was prepared for. Okay.
You need help?
Yeah, throw me. I'm a
I,
cat.
I
Meow,
will
meow.
throw him in a similar manner.
Oh my god.
As if we had joined a circus.
Okay. You get tossed. What did we do last time? Did we roll an athletics check for Ashes and acrobatics for Matashtai? Is that what we
let's
did?
check the log.
There's no log.
We can't.
Why would you taunt Jeremy like
I
that?
could go back
Yeah, why
to
would
the
you
other
do that?
game and check the log
Punish
there.
him, Jeremy. Punish him.
But don't punish me. Just only him.
I think let's just go through the ropes, because here's the thing: there's no real penalty for failing here. So, however, whether it's
Injury.
successful on the first time, right, or not, eventually Ashes is able to toss Bones high enough that he
Yeah,
hits
slam
the
Bone.
midway point. And then we go through the same scenario that we did with Matashtai, right? Bones hangs for a second and teeters, and then free falls upwards. So I do need a dexterity saving throw from you on that. Okay, yeah. You were able to, just like a cat, because you are a
Oh
cat,
my god.
catch yourself. No issues. And now both Matashtai and Bones are on the ceiling, while Ashes and Ezra are on the other ceiling?
I'll start cleaning the
The
brick
floor.
off
Get
the-
it right, Jeremy.
It depends on perspective, right?
No, you're wrong.
Okay, we're up here. So I see all the same
So,
shit he sees.
I
Now
take
we're-
him over to the throne. I'm like,
Mhm.
all right, so this is the throne.
Yeah, I see it. It's majestic.
That's the Minotaur.
Yep. Those are some shitty bones, let me tell you that.
Would you guys like to roll a perception check for me?
Yes, we would.
Yeah. My food's here.
So Jeremy, while they're doing that, question for you.
Absolutely.
If I look back at the door, does it look like the door goes all the way from floor to ceiling, or does it look like there is some wall above or below the door?
Oh, the one that you guys came in?
Correct.
That one goes up about 10 feet. And then the beyond that, right, is wall up to the ceiling.
So like I said, we're on the floor.
Wow. Should have just been. I should have been like, what door?
I'm back.
There is no door. The door no longer exists. There's just a 20-foot hole in the wall, Ezra. What are you talking about?
Oh,
Okay, I'm back. What's up?
All right. Need perception checks.
Okay.
Plus,
Yeah, both of you.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay. But it's
It's unfortunate.
26.
That's a lot better.
All right. So you both kind of go over the throne, the riser, the Minotaur himself, everything with like a fine-toothed comb. And there does seem to be a seam
A seam.
upon the throne.
Matt, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I'm seeing what you're seeing.
I think that's a seam.
But there is
Looks like a seam
no
right there.
there is no obvious mechanism for opening it.
Yeah, there is. It's called Tom McKiri. Jam the spear in it.
I assist in this action.
You shove your spear into a hairline crack of a seam and begin to probably slowly chip at the stone, I guess.
All right. Well, if that's not working,
This
I'm
might
gonna
not
sh-
have been the worst.
I'm gonna shout down to Ezra and Ash and say, "Hey guys, there's a seam. Look for a button or switch."
Or just anything.
I'll start rummaging through the other piles of garbage in the room.
Ezra will assist Ashes in his scour.
Okay.
There's
Roll.
a pressure plate. Or
Yeah. Roll
lever.
me perception check with advantage.
Hey, the axe blade was kind of together yet. It looked kind of decent. Maybe if we take the axe blade to the Minotaur, he'll be like, "Thank you. Here is my treasure."
Here
broke
is
it,
your.
didn't you?
I'm
Well,
gonna try it. I'm gonna pick up the axe blade.
Okay. Now stuck to your hand.
it's very heavy, right? It is a double, like the battle axe, right? So it's very large.
I'm imagining like a 45-pound plate at the gym.
No, absolutely not. No. It's maybe like 8 or 9 pounds or something like that. It's very heavy. It's made for. It looks like it is made sized for a Minotaur, but I mean, you can easily pick it up and take it over to the creature. While that's happening, Ezra and Ashes, you search around in the through the piles of rubbles along the wall. You find remnants of like sticky goo from Grix, but you find nothing. You find nothing resembling a lever or switch or button or anything like that.
Okay. We ain't got nothing down here, buddies.
All right, good looking.
I'm sticking
Proud of
with
you.
the axe blade plan.
Did we look in him, under him, on his chair for buttons?
I mean, I looked around him and touched him.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go back to cleaning the Greg.
I bring the axe blade over and I offer it up.
Damn, he offers.
Just want to screenshot this moment for an artist later. An upside down.
Yeah, the upside down. You offer it up to the Minotaur, and I mean, you just like proffer it towards him.
Yeah, if I start with that.
There's no reaction.
All right. I take it and I place it on his lap.
You hear this as the dried, desiccated remains kind of crack and smush under the weight.
All right. That didn't do anything.
Also, you've now desecrated a corpse.
I didn't desecrate it. I was offering it up. I was nice about it and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd
like to-
That's true.
Dusted femurs.
Specifically, take a look on okay, you know how in Star Wars people always have buttons on their chairs,
Sure.
and Star Trek.
And the hands of the Minotaur are kind of like on these armrests.
Okay, I'd like to specifically take a look, and I'm gonna not. I don't want to touch it though. I want to use like short swords, and I got some bone short swords.
So you're
Lift
willing
it
to
up.
you're willing to touch the Minotaur, just not with your flesh, is what you're
Correct.
saying. Okay, because I was gonna say if you're not willing to touch the Minotaur, you're not gonna see anything beyond what your 26.
I'm willing to
already showed
touch it. I don't want to touch it with my hands.
Sure. So you
Have it
go.
become fucking dead and lifeless, like goddamn not Tulip, but Aster.
You begin to kind of prod around, utilizing your blade to kind of lever the arms out of the way. Roll me a perception check.
Okay. 26.
Another 26? Jesus.
You're a monster at rolling right now.
You find, right,
Only until something
again,
bad happens.
as you're like poking and prodding and lifting up arms here or there, the skeleton, or it's not a skeleton, the dried
Mummy.
husk of this Minotaur doesn't fare well with the poking and prodding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Skin cracks, muscles kind of tear. You hear
I'm concerned that it's still has
shredding.
muscles.
Each time. Well, they're very dried and all like taut against the bone, right?
Mhm.
And you find nothing you find nothing on the armrests, right? There are no switches or buttons to show anything. But with your 26, you do notice, right? The interaction with Matashtai and the battle axe, right? Laid upon the lap of the Minotaur. You kind of poking and prodding. The body moves, slumps, and kind of changes as it gets poked and prodded, right? The head has not moved.
That's real concerning.
To match the the harm that is going on with the body, the head is not moving. And as you kind of like look super closely, you're able to tell that the head is not connected to the body.
Is it like attached to the chair?
It seems to be attached or mounted or stuck to the throne in some way.
Okay. Like if I run a blade behind it.
Are you gonna run a blade behind it?
God damn it, I'm gonna run a blade behind it.
Okay. So you go to run a blade behind it, and yes, you hear and feel a kind of like ting as you connect with something, some sort of like pole or mount or something that the head is attached to.
Okay. Huh. Alright, this is gonna seem a little weird. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I got gloves or some shit, like it's part of a thieves kit.
Sure.
Explorer pack, that's definitely got gloves in it. I put some gloves on.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and pull. I'm gonna pull on the skull. I'm gonna try and pull it out.
Okay. So you put some gloves on and kind of brace yourself up against this large Minotaur, right?
I'm aware.
Still trying to not touch. Is that the goal?
As much as possible, yeah.
But you're not worried about like an occasional like brushing up against its body here or there or something like that.
I mean, I suppose not. I guess we'll see if I die later, but yes, I suppose not.
Okay. That's what I wanted, because if you are trying to, then I need a roll. If you're not trying to, then you don't need a roll.
I'm not like sitting in its lap calling
Yeah.
it daddy,
Of
like-
course. Right? You're trying to have as minimal contact as possible.
Yes. Well, not yet. I mean, depends what it offers me.
There is so you go to kind of like pull the skull. There is immediately a little bit of give, right? And then sharp resistance.
Okay. Sharp resistance as if pulling on like a rope or something to open a door, or sharp resistance as if, hey, you're pulling on my head, I'm resisting you.
Roll me an investigation check.
Okay. I'm not good at
Now we're in the nitty gritty of things.
Fighting.
No, this is definitely something that hook or that pole that you found with your blade is attached to something inside the skull.
It's brain.
Like you feel as if you pull hard enough, you'll probably shatter because the skull's it's old and it's decayed, right? It's brittle. If you pull hard enough, you'll probably shatter the skull off of whatever this mount is, but there's something attached inside that is offering resistance as you kind of like tug on it.
Maybe it's the Crystal Skull, the worst Indiana Jones movie.
Maybe. Okay, its head's all wrapped in bandages, right? Like we can't just like see through.
No, it's not. It's the bandages are mostly around its body. The head, there's a little bit around, like draped around the neck from like the back. Like there might have been like a pin with some of the bandages that would go around its upper torso right there. And that's kind of what helped obscure the severed head, right? But now that you kind of moved the body away and you fucked with the body and everything like that, that's just kind of hanging limp. The head has no bandages. It just has the two jewels.
Oh, the jewels are on the eyes. Okay, that's why we couldn't see what was in there.
And they're to make it clear, they're not like covering the eyes. They're set in the skull.
Okay, so there's
like
no
they
way
are
to just
in the eye sockets.
There's no way to just pop them out, right?
I mean,
like...
you could try to. Yeah, you could.
Okay.
Definitely wedge up. I mean, you can see kind of like the lines where the eye sockets are, the peeled skin backwards.
Here and I'm gonna stop and poll the group. I'm gonna say, hey guys, yeah, there's definitely something going on here. I feel like I either need to bust the skull or pop the gems out, or we could do nothing. I guess
we could do nothing. It's Dungeons and Dragons, guys. We could do nothing, right?
Dungeons and Dragons do nothing.
Like I said before, I don't feel real good about busting up a corpse, but at this point...
What if we just pop this gem out to see what's in there?
Would it be better if I was like, this, you roll a history check and you're like, this is Mogar, slaughterer of 1,000 villages.
Yeah, absolutely. I would fuck with his corpse.
Mogar the Cruel.
Yeah. That's why I was looking for some words. What if it said, like,
I'll keep that in mind in the
Minotaur
future.
King of blah, 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 blah.
He sacrificed many orphans.
All right, Ashes and Ezra, do you have an opinion?
Not really. I mean, I don't know anything about fancy rocks. I don't know how much money that could possibly get us, but is it worth whatever that is?
I do want to point out that you did just interact with Halaster that told you I was going to be the greatest cook in the world.
Chef.
Whatever. And then he turned into ooze.
Yeah, sure.
So things aren't always what they seem to be.
Yeah, I think there's definitely more going on here than just the gems, Ashes. If you guys don't really care, just to be safe, go ahead and get your crossbow out. Just get ready.
I don't have a crossbow.
You have
step
magic.
away from my work on the Grit corpse and get ready to, I guess, jump into the sphere if necessary.
Jump into what?
The anti-grab sphere.
You're just
All right,
gonna
then.
jump into it?
Yeah, jump into it.
All right.
If necessary. Like, kick off the wall or something. I'll triangle jump up there. It's cool.
I love it. Okay,
That'd
sure.
be pretty cool. Actually, do that. All right, I'm gonna. I don't remember which gem is which, so I'm gonna pop out the right eye first.
Okay, so there's the agate and the zircon. The agate is
Okay.
on the left, and the zircon is on the right.
Okay, well, what I already said right. I want the right one.
You already said right. You want the right one?
I don't.
Are
I
you
don't really
sh-
care which is
Are you
which.
sure you want the right one?
Yeah, I said right. I
No,
want
we
right.
want the zircon.
That's the right one.
Then
That's
the
your-
right one.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, I said I've already committed. I don't care what happens at this point.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sure you care.
Ezra is
Bones
making sure he's not beneath this.
pulls
scenario.
out. What are you doing this with? Like a dagger?
Yeah, dag.
Okay, so
Dag
you
up.
pull out a dagger and you kind of
Look,
like.
I'm gonna even do it with my. I'm gonna do it with the calcium supplement. All right.
Okay.
Let's try to not damage the bone as much as possible.
Sure,
Let's make
sure.
it less-
So you
That's the name of my skin and dagger.
kind of
Calcium
like pop it
supplement.
in there, and it's actually a
Calcium.
little more difficult because you're using the calcium supplement, right?
Yeah. sure.
Because with a different dagger, right, you just crack the edge of the skull and be able to wedge it pretty easily. With the calcium, though, you're unable to mar the bone, so you actually have a little bit more difficulty getting it in there. But once you get the blade in there, it also offers a better way to kind of like wedge it, right? So it's one half dozen the other, right? So it takes you just a moment before you feel a little bit of give, and you start to kind of put pressure to pop the zircon out, and then you feel that kind of sharp tug of resistance, and you realize that the gem is attached to the mount.
Mm.
You want to try to pry it off?
The gem is attached to the mount. So hypothetically, if I pushed the skull back, just these two gem eyes would be floating there.
You want to try that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so do you leave your knife wedged in there?
Hell no, this is a good ass knife. I do not
Okay,
do
so you
that.
kind of like you slide the calcium supplement out, right? You position yourself, and then you put your hands on the skull and kind of like push backwards. And there's not a lot of room, right, between the back of the skull and the throne. There's just a couple of millimeters, right? But you do push on it, and yeah, the gems just ever so slightly pop out of the skull. Again, it's just a few millimeters, right? Because there's not much room. But at this point, you could probably smash the skull, and it would just be the gems attached to the mount.
I'm trying not to smash.
Bizarre.
Trying not to smush the skull.
Well, yeah, that's fine. I'm just telling you what you could do. I'm telling you what you witness, right? What
Like, how'd
you
they-
see.
How'd they get this in its head without damaging the skull before?
Oh, it's pretty easy. You just drill a little hole in the back and you put a rod through, and I do it all the time. It's no problem.
Bones is not only a bone carver, he's also a taxidermist.
Like, so
Bones-
clearly this mount, like it had
Bro,
one
bones
right
are
going in,
bones.
right? There's also like a fucking Y in there to the two eyes.
Oh,
How
sure.
do you get the Y in there?
I don't know, mouth. Two different parts. I don't. Maybe there's a big hole back there. Who knows?
I'm confused.
So,
Maybe just
Get the gem.
maybe just magic.
magic. That is the classic D&D answer. Magic.
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 All right, I'll try and get the gems. Whatever. Like I'll try and like unscrew them. I'll try and fucking pry. I mean, just whatever.
So you go back to trying to pry the zircon out.
Yeah. Hey, take that. Can you take the axe away from it, just in case?
I mean, it's just the head, but yeah, I walk over and I pick it up.
Okay.
Walk over, place it somewhere else.
Gulthunk. Okay.
You know,
Be gone.
better safe than sorry.
All right. You
I feel like if it was gonna do something, it would have done something by now.
pry out
It
the
hasn't taken the
zircon,
gems yet.
right? And it takes you a moment. This thing it's in tight. You actually like run the calcium supplement around it, right? Check and see how it's kind of attached. You maybe even like jiggle it a little bit. It's not screwed on, right? There's definitely some sort of seam or attachment, a glue or what have you. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm jiggling, baby.
It takes you a couple moments, right? Probably about a minute and a half of fiddling with this thing before you're just like, all right. This is just one of those home fixes, right? We're gonna pop it off. We're just gonna pop it off.
Home fix.
And you wedge the dagger in there and then apply pressure and more pressure and more pressure, and then there's this pop, right? And the zircon goes flying out towards your face,
I try to catch it.
and the reverse gravity spell dissipates, and
Oh
you
god.
and Matashtai and the throne and the riser and the Minotaur and everything go falling to the floor.
Sweet.
In a like there's this sudden like Wile E. Coyote moment, right, as the zircon pops out, right? And then there's this
They'll both look at each other.
whoosh! And okay, so there is a bunch of stone falling with you guys, so I need dexterity saves from both of you as this crashes down
Can I
around you.
attempt to kick off of the throne?
So that's what your dexterity saving throw would
Okay.
basically be.
23.
Very nice.
Not 23.
Still good enough.
Pretty close, though.
All right. So actually, that's a really, really poor roll anyways. So you both succeed, so you only take 7 bludgeoning damage from the falling, the throne and the riser as it pulls away, right? As the weight of it pulls it away from the ceiling, it almost immediately begins to crumble and clatter and shatter, right? As if whatever magic had been holding it to the ceiling had also basically been holding it together, and the whole thing just comes down in a heap of rubble. You are both able to kind of like throw yourselves partially out of the way, but you still get beamed by a couple of larger chunks of stone and throne. Maybe one of you gets, Matashtai gets like glanced by the head of the battle axe, right? You know.
Why
So
am I the one who gets? I'm damn it.
so you both take 7 damage. No big deal, right? And are both like dust clouds up from this collapse, and the whole room is obscured for a few moments. And there's guys are coughing and sputtering, right, as everything eventually begins to dissipate. And when you all like the couple moments pass and the dust begins to settle, you see within the skeleton itself, or the mummified Minotaur is basically obliterated at this point, right? It's just destroyed. But the throne, right, as it has fallen and shattered and crumpled, within what would have been the interior of the throne is what appears to be a small treasure hoard.
I was about to say, a hopeless number of spiders?
So
Fucking knew it.
what do you guys want to do?
We'd like to look at the treasures.
We would
Okay.
like to collect on our pinata.
It's literally like a pinata. Okay, so you start to kind of like, you guys get yourselves up and kind of start to rifle through.
All right.
And I do actually
Good.
mean like a small treasure hoard. There is a scattering of coins, right? Ancient coins. This stuff looks super old, right?
So these aren't lions.
No, these are not dragons.
dragon.
Yeah,
All
these are not Waterdavian coin.
That's
But
the
there are copper
Yep, yep.
pieces, silver pieces, gold pieces, platinum pieces. There's still coinage that you it's still of the same, roughly the same size and weight, right? As you would normally see. It's just they're stamped with completely unrecognizable engravings, right? No idea what time period they're from. There's a small hoard of gemstones, right? Including the zircon and the agate, which have fallen into this kind of pile. And the gemstones mostly didn't scatter and fall under the rubble because they were wrapped in what looks to be like a robe.
Okay.
So
Kind of.
it is a...
Does it have a lot of eyes on it?
So many eyes.
I was thinking it.
Not again.
No, it is actually a very pale white robe, almost stark, like Snow White or Alabaster White, right? Very, very just gleaming white. But there are odd images sewn all around the outside of the robe. Like patches sewn onto the robe itself.
A robe of many useful things.
There are patches.
Oh, yes.
Got it.
The wondrous item.
Very
Okay.
useful.
So,
Sometimes.
assuming you guys take a few minutes to rifle through everything that you
Yes,
find,
please.
I'm just gonna give you a copy pasta of what there is.
We rifle.
We commence the rifling.
I am at maximum weight, but if I carry anything else, I will be over cap.
I have 232 pounds in my bag of holding. Do you just want me to put stuff in it right now, Mitch, or do you want to try and break this
Yeah.
up?
Do we want to split up the money right away? If you want to grab all the,
Well, they
Yeah,
can't
gonna-
carry anything else, so we're
I
gonna have to
suppose so.
carry party funds anyway.
So there are 12
yeah, why don't you just throw all the
gemstones
party
in
funds in
total.
your bag? It's
Okay. I don't. Yeah, I can carry all of that.
Garnet, jade, jet.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of coinage, 12 gemstones of various types, and then the alabaster robes.
Okay, I'm taking all of the gold, all the money. I'm putting all of the money in there, and I'm making a note of what.
Give
I'm putting.
me all the money!
Do you have GP on there twice? You do.
Sorry, yeah, so there's the... Ignore the top. That's what the total is. You're
Oh,
just
okay, I
looking for
understand.
each individual entry.
I
Sorry.
see. Okay.
Yeah, when I roll treasure hoards, it gives me a calculated total.
Gotcha.
Which is useful for me calculating how much you guys are getting, but less useful for you guys.
Plus 9150.
Alright, so you guys are rifling through the treasure hoard, collecting it, right?
Hey, Jeremy.
Yes, what's up?
Is that total including all of the gemstones?
No, the
'Cause
gemstones are not priced.
1,700 gold pieces plus 6,000 silver pieces plus 300 copper pieces does not equal 3,100 gold.
Weird.
well, you also did you add in the platinum?
What platinum?
The 80 platinum
80?
pieces.
I don't see that.
Sorry,
It's directly below
it
that.
breaks up my messages when I post more than however many characters. It breaks it up in the copy pasta. So yeah, just below the 1,700 gold is 80 platinum pieces.
That is 3,200 and
Okay.
more than what you have listed.
I would say
think your math is
let's
wrong.
not worry about what is listed on the 3103
I'm
because
just
that doesn't
asking.
matter.
Okay, are you taking the gemstones, Mitchell?
God damn it.
Oh, actually, yeah, it is wrong. I did 30 for copper
Fit it all in
instead.
your
Suck it, bitch.
I'm just making. Well, I didn't see the platinum, so I was real sorts of confused.
I don't know what's being said.
It's all good.
If you can fit in your bag, why don't you just take all of it? That way it's all together.
I can. I don't. I need to know weights on the stones.
The gemstones are all put them all at 0.1 pounds. So
Okay.
they're light. None of these gemstones are massive.
Understood. Okay.
Where
I
is
should
the rope
be able
going?
to- where it can go in a bag or it can go with someone. I don't care.
Yeah, I think it matters.
I just want to know
probably-
where it is. Because I will want it.
I mean, if no one cares, I'll put it in the bag. If no
That
one wants to
works.
carry it.
Just put it in the bag.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm copy pasting. It'll take me a minute to finish.
And if you're worried about the weight of the robe's like 3 pounds.
I'm not. I have 70 pounds.
Okay, you're cool. All right, so while he is copy pasting, so you guys collect the loot. What else do you do? What's the plan now?
Well, I mean,
did it!
assuming everything goes back to not exploding and falling.
Yes, except the corpse of the Grick Alpha is mostly bludgeoned to hell and back, as the throne and riser have fallen upon it. That's the only change.
Okay. I still try to.
You had already removed the beak.
Okay, all right.
Because you said you were doing that earlier. You even said you were doing that at the end of last session.
Several times. So yeah,
yeah.
if we've had enough time to get the beak, then I will be
Absolutely.
stepping away from the carnage.
I'm a bit beat up, so I'm gonna chug a healing potion.
Yeah, if we're not gonna rest, I probably will as well.
Do we want to rest?
I don't care.
It doesn't make any difference to me because I'm out of hit die.
That's true. You are out of hit dice.
Alright,
So I
chug
guess
a
the-
potion.
I guess the plan here, right, is what is your next destination? Like, are you guys planning on
We're still
continuing
trying to find
explore?
the exit. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, options are
And there's at least one more goblin coven.
Goblin Coven. I like that.
I don't. So how long have we been down here? Because we don't want to stay down here more than like. We don't want to push it too hard, right? We don't want to go into.
I think you guys have been down here for about 6 hours now.
Roughly.
6 hours might be a good place to start heading back the way we know.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you would like, we could just go ahead and drop the beak off with Arthur before heading back. I don't think that would be too far out of the way, or do you want to just say fuck it? And...
That's fine with me.
Okay.
It's pretty far up.
How heavy is that beak?
How heavy is that beak?
Not super heavy. Maybe
Let's be over.
30 pounds?
no, not 30 pounds. It's maybe like 2 or 3 pounds at most.
From a alpha Grick?
Yeah, I mean it's.
Damn.
But you gotta think, like, it's not solids. It's not like a solid stone ball. It's a beak, right? So it's what is there is heavy, right? But it's not.
All right, cool. Let's go.
Okay. So if you guys wish to move out, start moving. Have at it. There is the northeastern doorway that you entered into, and then there is a craggly, rough-hewn tunnel to the southwest.
Where we came, or
I
forge your own path back?
Did I scout the tunnel? I feel like I went down a little bit of it, but I don't
I
remember.
don't think so. I think because we just ended that combat.
Okay. I don't know. Whatever you guys want to do, I would say like let's go down the little crag tunnel, and if it doesn't go somewhere we're familiar with, start backtracking.
Sounds good.
All right, I moved down the craggy tunnel.
How about it? You begin to move down to the smelly death decay tunnel, and within a few short moments, you find yourself back at the crossroads where you had fought the original pair of Grick.
Talking about the crossroads.
Heading north gets you into the Grick Snack Watch Post, and as I said earlier, right, all the tokens for them have been removed, but this whole area is just covered in goblin corpses, all strewn about, and blood slicked everywhere. You want to loot the goblins?
We're gonna loot the gobos.
You guys like to stop to
You remembered without the note, Jay. I am
You
impressed.
I know. That's why my voice changed octaves like so high. I'm membered.
You remembered. All right. So, actually, yeah. So you is that what you guys take a few minutes to stop and loot the goblin corpses and stuff?
Yar.
Okay. So, there are two batches because this watch post comes in two batches. So you guys find, coinage wise, you find 21 copper, 14 shards, and 7 gold pieces on the first half, and then you find on the second larger half, find 43 copper, 24 shards, and 5 gold pieces.
I feel like that's a lot.
As you're
of
kind of like,
gold for a goblin.
right, most of it, so this is, I will say this, most of it you find over here in the obelisk room, because within the obelisk room, lining the walls, right, the wide alcoves contain dozens of little goblin, like, bedrolls or kind of makeshift mattresses made of torn rugs and fabric and bundles of like old cloaks, those types of things. This whole interior portion seems like, so each of these alcoves is just kind of nested with goblin beds. And then directly in the center is the obelisk itself, right? This great 14-foot tall granite obelisk with a lidless eye carved near the top, and it just seems like it's glaring at you. And the bottom half of it is covered in bloody little goblin handprints.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah.
Were they like worshiping it or something? Like, I don't think goblins normally worship things. That would be abnormal.
I don't know.
Do I know anything about goblin deities?
Are you trained in religion?
Yes.
You are? Roll me a religion check.
Nope. I
Did you
lied.
just say yes? Go fuck yourself. No, probably. I mean, you know some basics, right? You know probably the name of the major goblin deity, Magubliet, right? But that would probably, you just know it from stories, right? You might know a couple myths or legends, but nothing real about like goblin worship rituals or their religious societies or things like that.
I was thinking I was history, what I am proficient with, and that's why I say.
Yeah, well, so
studied
that's what I'm
Undermountain.
saying. Like from a historical
Yep,
perspective, that's what you would know. You would need to be trained in religion to know more than that, because
Yep, I also
otherwise,
don't give a fuck about goblins.
yeah, exactly. It's fucking goblins, and they have weird ass cult gods. It's fucked up, right? Ashes.
It's a coven before. It's
Wow.
like I
You
was
did.
already there.
Were you wanting to investigate to try to figure out? Because you acted like you wanted to know.
I guess I was
more?
generally at the party and not what Ashes was inquiring about.
Gotcha.
He's not. After all the previous encounters with things that
fine.
he has touched, he's less. He doesn't feel super comfortable touching things so freely anymore.
Here's my. I was sitting here imagining something's missing, and that's what's missing. My statue token is missing because all my tokens got deleted. Anyways, now the statue is back. So yeah, okay. If that's all you guys want to do,
Then
so there is from here, right? There's the way west and then south that you guys traveled, and then the other direction that you are aware of is this corridor to the southwest. And Bones, you
explore
went
that?
down it. Bones went down it a little bit, and he saw that it goes southwest for a while, and then it curves back southeast for a while.
I think we should just check it out. What's the worst that could happen?
And then there's this little like dead end over here.
Sorry, I was doing math. You're talking about the bottom one goes down and yeah. So I didn't go super far down that, guys. I got to a crook in the road and then I stopped. So I don't know what's all the way down there. If you want to, cool. If you want to, but as far as I know, it doesn't backtrack.
I mean,
Are we really in a spot where we could take on some more of those gobble boys? I'm getting pretty spent myself,
I'm
and
assuming that. How much time has passed since the fight with the Alpha Grick?
You guys short rested afterwards, right?
Oh,
No.
You didn't? Okay. Then 20, 30 minutes.
cool. Good to know.
Let's just backtrack. Let's just backtrack to Am and complete our day and go topside and not possibly walk into another goblin watch post.
Okay. Got it.
okay.
I mean, I'm down to go. Like I'm fighting shape, but
Yeah, I'm
our
perfectly
sorcerer
fine.
is not.
We leave
Well-
then.
Mosey on, boyos.
I'm gonna move with my mouse to try and reduce on keyboard noise,
That's fine.
so you're aware you're gonna see me teleport.
I don't
shit.
know
That
for
doesn't
sure
bother
if
me
I'm
at all.
going the right way.
So,
Careful when you're using the mouse, you can go through the fucking walls.
You can go through the wall without it.
hold up.
That door was open for-
Yeah, hold up. Let me, because, again, the new game, who dis, right? I forget that I have to go change all of the freaking settings because I don't know why Roll20 you would make an entire dungeon with dynamic lighting enabled, right? And not have restrict movement on every single page. You make these walls that people should not be able to walk into, and yet
I
you do
moved
not.
myself somewhere I'm not supposed to have moved myself. I'm stuck.
All right, just give me a second. I gotta find you.
I'm down from where I was, where we were coming down that hallway. I just kept going down in like a room.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I don't know. There's no markings. I don't know what else to say.
You're fine.
Okay.
Right, there you go. So, yeah, you guys, it should be good now. You shouldn't be able to move through walls like you were.
Yes, that is
These
good.
are open. All right, so Matashtai, you make it back to that room with the headless lady that's kind of like half buried in rubble, right? And then there is the rough-hewn tunnel to the north and the hallway to the west.
I
Where
go
did
up
that
through the
go?
tunnel.
Did we go through this tunnel? Where did this go?
Yeah, it goes back to the crossroads.
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
And so as you let out, right, there's the little section where there's the pickaxes and there's the dead kind of head crushed goblin that you saw there, right?
Oh yeah, okay.
As you guys get to the stone pillar, do me a favor and someone roll a d12.
Wait, did we start walking through the pretty clean tunnels already?
Yeah, we're at the
Gotcha.
stone pillars.
Okay.
Stop moving. Just stop moving.
We-
Stop.
we are
Everybody
not
stop
moving.
moving.
We're
it.
not. Calm
Stop it.
down.
I'm not
We're
talking
not
about you.
moving.
I think he's talking to them.
Yeah.
They're bad people.
No, we were told
They
not
don't
to move
listen.
again, and we were never told that we could start moving again.
Zach and I were good. We listened.
Yeah.
There's a first time for everything.
Fuck off.
That's not what I'm feeling. All right. Someone roll me a 1d12.
I'll do it. I'm gonna put 1.
Okay. So you get to this stone pillar, right? And you hear this kind of cling, clang, 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 clang from westward down the mirror hallway.
Mm-hmm. Just
And-
a clang.
Yeah, after, like, it sounds like something got dropped, right? And something metallic kind of rattled for a few moments and then settled.
Probably best to leave that one, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Onward to Am.
All right, we're gonna go that way, don't we?
All right.
We gotta go up.
Well, everyone, we are in moving mode. All right, so you guys head northwards, then hook it east as you make it to the crossroads.
Right,
Kick in the
it's
door.
You find this door is closed again.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay, well, we open
I
it.
gently open it.
Gently open the door, and you find that all traces of the zombie corpses you had done away with previously are gone.
Sweet. Not, the cleaners in here are just, like, fantastic.
They're really good. Just really, really good.
Let's keep heading north. One in. Oh. In a momento. Alright, so you come to this door, open it up. There's not a live
Okay.
wyvern in here. Sorry, I gotta adjust this token. It will shortly be dead again, I promise.
All right, someone. This last place that we saw Am, right? Should we try calling him
This
here?
is the
Right
last
here.
place we saw Am.
Well, I will invoke the name of Arthur Merlin.
I don't think we know that name, do we?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
I think you told us.
Oh, he did finally tell us the full name. Okay.
Yep.
he told you the name. That was the sticking point.
Oh,
at
right.
the
That's
end
where we
of the
like.
conversation,
What's your
right?
name? Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Damn, is that how he acts?
No, I don't have him anymore. He's in the old game. It's okay. The man appears before you. I cannot produce his token at the moment, but Arthur Merlin, there is this rush of fog that begins to sweep into the room and begins to swirl and coalesce, and then Arthur Merlin stands before you in his kind of, it's almost kind of like a not quite a kimono, but it's kind of like that, right? Just kind of like standing there like he was just talking to someone, and he
Oh. So this is a very
well,
invasive way to...
hello friends.
Hello.
It's
I hope you weren't interrupting.
he kind of like stops and looks around. He sighs and he kind of like walks away from you over to the throne and just casually sits down in it. Right? Says, "Please, what can I do for you?"
Brought you a present.
Oh,
I'll walk up and produce the Alpha Grick beak
okay.
and offer it to him.
He looks at it. He doesn't take it. He just says, "Well then, that was relatively quick timing. Don't play around when given a job, do you?"
I try not to.
I'll have to make sure my name stays off the bounty boards then.
Yeah, boy. I mean, he's no Ulrich and Ferric, but I mean, you know, surely they've heard of the
So
greatest.
he
bounty
kind of
hunters of all
he
time.
kind of gives you this little ribbing, right? Obviously, trying to bait you a little bit. And then he just kind of chuckles and he says, "Oh well, yes, quite well done.
Dang, he's heard of Ulrich and Ferric.
Did you see what I meant when you fought the creature? Did you meet its brood?"
We dealt with several other Grick on the way. Yes.
And the watchpost before it?
Yeah,
Full of
that-
goblins.
That too.
Is it still full of goblins?
Full? No.
Well, not live ones.
Good answer.
Well, baby steps. Yes? Do you understand my concern?
For goblins?
No, for... You leave a wake of death and destruction in your path.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that as an immortal vampire.
Sure.
Are you saying we're sloppy?
He looks at Bones and he says, "You're a hunter, yes?"
Yep, that's me. Hunting.
What happens when you remove the dominant predator from an ecosystem?
Oh. Yeah, the prey one runs wild.
So,
That makes sense.
as you go about your exploration, keep that in mind. Keep in mind that what you kill does something. Whether it be a Grick or a Goblin, it does something here. Dungeon is, after an odd fashion, crazy inhabitants,
Mm-hmm.
is a living thing. Kill something here, something else going to run wild, or come replace it. That in mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it might be best to leave a lesser entity be, because it might be keeping worse things at bay.
We should have left the Grick alive.
No, I asked you to kill the Grick because I knew you were going to kill the goblins, and if you killed the goblins but not the Grick, then the Grick would just have moved into the goblin territories.
Yeah,
We had
but what
that
if we-
discussion.
But if we killed the Grick, then who's gonna kill the goblins?
But do the goblins need to be killed?
Maybe, maybe not.
Well,
Unclear.
that's a different discussion. Archer kind of drops into this like debate mode with Bones. Like he goes out of his kind of like lecturing like at Ash's tone, and he kind of like gets caught up in the conversation with Bones, and then he like realizes it and he says, "You have done well, as you were asked. Now, thank you for bringing this to me." He kind of like looks at you, Ashes, with the beak there. He says, "You are free to keep it if you. I have no need of it."
I pass it off to my tail, which sucks it behind the cloak.
And then he says,
Hold up, your tail can lift 30 pounds?
3!
Prehensile.
3!
Oh, I thought it was determined to be 30 earlier.
No, that was
Jake
control.
just randomly said
Oh.
30 pounds.
No, I didn't randomly say
And
it.
now it's like canon.
All right, my prehensile tail can hold 30 pounds.
No. So
Cannon.
Probably could if you were half Goliath.
That's true. I'm pretty sure that's
yeah,
how.
well, my
I'm pretty
strength
sure it's how it
modifier,
works.
Directly influence my
Touche.
tail strength.
Touche.
Hold
Yeah.
on,
absolutely.
I'm gonna verify on that number real quick. You guys continue on. I'll do some math.
All right,
About 3,000
prepared.
pounds.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're talking about. Probably.
Arthur kind of like he just sighs at this point. He says, "I was kind of in the middle of it. If there's nothing else you all need, I should be going."
I assume this puts us back on good terms.
Oh, Crimson Knights. We were always on good terms. And we will continue to be. Until you decide otherwise.
That's good to know. Sorry to interrupt you.
I mean it. You would treat me as an enemy. All of your order would. But I have done nothing to you so far. Long as you can remain cordial, I have no intention of that changing.
Sure.
Then
Anyways, I really must be going.
we don't want to
See
keep
you later.
We're heading topside ourselves.
Oh. Any plans for last sheaf? Gifts to be given? So you guys would, most of you would be at least minorly familiar. It's the upcoming holiday.
I assume our restaurant will have something nice for meal.
Perhaps I'll stop by.
I mean, yeah, sure. I'm a decider.
Why you do this?
You're the guys saying
Learn
shit.
vampire lore.
So,
Well, yeah, that sounds great. I'm a decider. I've decided. I have that power.
I love it. So,
To the restaurant part only.
Arthur smiles, and as he smiles, he begins to fade into a incorporeal mist that shudders and dissipates, and then he is gone.
I like him. I think we should just keep hanging out with him.
I like how he hasn't killed us yet.
Yeah, he's like tried to kill us the least of anything down here.
That actually might be true.
Fair enough. I'm looking forward to a bed. Let's fucking go.
Also, he knows about hunting. That's cool.
As you guys
Being an immortal being, I'm gonna assume he knows a lot of things.
leave back out to the southeastern section, you head back through the broken statues, right?
Oh, hey, you guys want to take the shortcut?
Take the secret
Yes, please.
door.
Okay, well, this door is shut, so I open it.
How do you think that helps? How
What?
how does that help?
I was
good
declaring
sir?
my intent.
Your declared intent is go up to door, mash right arrow key repeatedly into
Well, before
the
you
door.
couldn't hear that.
I'm trying to get through it. I'm almost there. Ha!
It worked.
Hold on, let's see if I move my mic to this table, if it makes it so I can mash my keys a little better.
So
Hold on. Is that less loud?
we can still hear the keys, but it doesn't give the table rumble, which is good.
It's not the boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
Now it's the tack, tack, tack.
All right, so you guys make it over to the little the secret wall, right, that pushes upwards. Guys just gonna go through.
Yeah, we're gonna go through.
All right, you head on through, and there, dangling in the middle of the room, of the entryway into the dungeon of the Mad Mage, is the rope leading
Bouquet.
back up to the yawning portal.
I throw pocket gold in there.
Okay,
That's called
pocket gold. And you tug on the rope, and the bucket goes squeaking upwards as the rope is pulled up. The money is taken. The rope comes back down. And
The accord is signed.
there you go.
The cold.
You guys are lifted back into the
Real world?
real world.
Do they have Deadpool betting to see if we come back or not?
Probably not. That's first floors.
You first floors. Oh, they bet on first floors. All right. So
We come back the healthiest we've ever returned.
Yeah.
Oh,
actually,
real.
yeah, you guys are probably in the best shape that you have ever been.
We definitely
We're
could
growing
have-
accustomed to the dungeon.
I hold up our Grick Alpha trophy.
We killed it!
There's so it's probably about mid-afternoon, right?
Yeah, what time did we go in?
You guys went in the morning.
Oh.
So it's probably about mid-afternoon, and you guys you guys coming up is greeted by a small bevy of cheers, right? People are always excited
Hey.
when a full group comes back from the dungeon. And then you
people
guys
are
you do your whole we killed it, right? We did Greek Alpha, and people are like, yeah. One blondish man kind of like smiles at you guys and buys you a round, right, of ale. Pays for it, no questions
Hell
asked, and
yeah.
just kind of like gives you a toast, just gives you a hurrah, right?
Hurrah!
Yeah.
Hurrah!
Durnan is there. He seems happy enough to see you, right? Gives you kind of a gruff welcome. So what do you want to do?
Yo, so okay,
what
what
is this-
all do we have? We have the alabaster. We have a spell book, don't we? Do we have anything else we can?
Anything we want to hawk to Obaya?
Yeah.
Let's see.
We probably need to do some
Inventory management.
financial things before we.
Can you hold any of your financials?
No, I
Okay.
can hold all of 4 pounds right now.
Cool. So
Technically,
I have
you can
my-
hold more. Your move speed
Well,
just
look,
drops.
At this point, we can hold more because being
Yeah.
over encumbered just means our movement speed is reduced.
Exactly.
and We're in fucking Waterdeep.
It's like walking
Until
around with
a troll
shopping
comes
bags.
out of the well,
Oh
and
no! Then you drop your shopping bags.
No.
Wouldn't it be better to like do all the selling and then divvy everything up?
Yes, yes, it would.
Probably.
Okay.
So, what would you like to do?
What all do we have the robe and we have a spell book, right?
Well, I might have use for the robe,
Well, we don't have to sell it to her, right? If she
Yeah,
identifies.
but I
it.
do have the spell book, which has a 4th level spell slot.
You guys got more than that. I'll tell you
mean,
right
I have
now.
I got a shitload of fucking gems. I got some
If you're talking about specifically stuff for Obaya, I'm saying you guys have more than that.
I got
I
some
have-
antlers. I got a pair of translucent stones.
Pair of translucent stones.
Silver necklace with blood pendant, bloodstone. Malachite crown. Alright, we find Obai. I'm just gonna show her everything. Fuck
She
it.
doesn't have identify though. I didn't.
I thought she had a wand or some shit.
She has. I'm trying to remember what she had.
Or like an eyepiece or some bullshit.
She has like detect magic,
Yeah, but that would just tell you the school. It wouldn't tell you.
or well, so she has one but not the other, right? Basically, and I don't remember which one it is. So we're whatever it was, we're potentially gonna retcon, and we're gonna say that she does in fact have a. So actually, I think she does have a wand of identification, but it only has so many charges. So she doesn't like to spam it. So I wanted to say she does detect magic first to see
to determine
if
what even has.
even has.
potency.
Yeah. So that was I think that is what the scenario. So we'll go with that. You meet up with Obai, who smiles warmly at you, kind of greets you. She is having a kind of a late midday meal.
What's up? It's our fans.
And you're back, and you brought more things. Wonderful. I suppose you need me to kind of curate, yes?
Yes, curation.
All right. So she will rifle through what you have.
Alright, so I'm dumping out everything. Silver necklace, bronze mask, antlers, translucent stones, malachite crown. Not my bones, those are mine. Alabaster robe. I mean, fuck all the gems.
Fuck all the gems.
From what you have just said, the only things that she detects as magical are the pair of stones, the pair of translucent stones, and the alabaster robes.
I have a silver locket from the female vampire and a grape pouch, which I don't remember if that is the pouch of.
Yeah, that's the
Fake
pouch.
creature?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
the
so I'm
pouch
removing
that.
that because that is in someone else's hands.
That's the Fey one? Okay, yeah, hey, show her that one too. Maybe we can get that one identified.
Gotcha.
You
All
good
right.
with that, Matt? Matt,
Sorry,
Not
I didn't
giving it
understand.
over,
What was that?
but like.
are you good with having the Fey pouch thing identified?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Anything else that you need identified in your inventory?
Looking through right now. Let's see. I had a copper chalice with silver filigree, and a silver ewer, and a space helmet. Any of those magical?
So I'm making a list of things that you guys are getting checked out.
Okay.
You have another thing, Mitch.
Let me
Or
check.
someone has it, or else you guys did not write it down.
What was it?
It was being clutched by the basilisk.
Oh, that was definitely not me.
It was being crushed by a basilisk.
Yeah, it was an orb.
Oh, the drift globe? Yeah, sure. Okay. Sorry. I put it down as a drift globe, so I didn't.
Fair, sure, and that is definitely what it is. Obaya confirms it for you, right?
Okay.
But I didn't want it to be forgotten, and then what have you. Okay, so yeah, she will identify. She detects magic on the stones, the robe, the space helmet, and the globe. She identifies the globe as a drift globe, which I don't think I really need to explain to you guys. It's a globe that casts light and can cast sunlight, and it drifts behind its pillar. The easiest thing, so that's kind of the stickler about drift globes, is drift globes drift a distance behind you and then come. So Obaya gives you kind of a heads up. What a lot of individuals will do is kind of make a harness for it, right? Like something that pulls it along with you, or a place where you can like nestle it, right? Something like that. Legit.
Like attached to a magical staff that floats something.
What if I just wear a headband and just like put it right here?
Yep, you can straight up do that. Yeah.
You can just straight up make like a
Miner's
headlamp.
hat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can do stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
we
basically,
could
like
probably-
she cautions you about that, right? About the functionality of it. They're common, right? But they're still wondrous implements. They're very useful, especially to human adventurers. It's just they can be a little annoying because the way they function is they follow you from a certain distance. They drift behind you, right?
So how big
Which can be
is
a pain in the
Grick
ass.
Alpha beak?
The
Like,
Grick
the
Alpha,
inside
how
of it.
big is it?
Yeah, like
What
what could you fit inside? A fist, a shoulder, an arm, a leg?
Ooh, you can make a dope ass shoulder pauldron out of it.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
Think of it
We'll
like
cut you out a little circle and just fit it up in there.
think of it as like maybe a little bigger than half a football.
That
Right,
sounds
so-
shoulderish.
So it's about like this, right?
The whole beak or half a beak?
So each half, right, would be like one portion. So when it's together, it's like this. It's like
Okay.
half a football, right?
That
Football
sounds
about like
shouldery.
this. Yeah, you could like pull it off and like pauldron, right?
All right, cool. Hey, I should save that.
Okay. So that's the drift globe. The pair of translucent stones she identifies as a pair of sending stones.
Yo,
Okay. And the
Oh,
basic
sweet.
functionality of that is that there are two stones. Whoever holds one stone can send messages to the other stone,
okay.
and vice versa.
Actually, probably would be pretty good for us.
The alabaster robes. She seems very keen on these. She's very interested in them. It is a robe of useful items. So the robe has a bunch of different patches on it, and a patch can be torn off to produce whatever that patch represents.
Since
Okay.
it is not cursed, Ezra will intend on putting that to use.
Logical. And so the last thing that she pinged as being magical is the space helmet. And when she goes to identify it, she kind of gives you this look, and she goes, "Huh. Well, this one is strange. It's not enchanted so much as in it is affected by some magic. This she kind of like taps the top of it, and you see there's like a little impression, almost like a cup holder or something like that, on the top of the helmet, right? Like this little indention, circular indention. She's like, this portion here is magical, but it is a part of a greater whole. On its own, I cannot say what it does.
Space helmet.
Is that the thing that let us go into that Halaster room?
No, that was the mask.
The mask. The mask does not ping as magical.
And I put the spellbook.
Oh, the spellbook. Yeah, she'll rifle through that and she'll be like, "Yeah, yes, this is worth much. I would pay for this." And she rummages through. She will. I'm gonna remember. Yeah. So she is willing to pay. Like she rummages, like she rifles through, right? And she nods, and then she gets to the end of the book, right? And she kind of inhales through her two front teeth, and kind of whistles. Yes, this is quite good. 100 platinum for this spell book.
Damn, what's the last spell?
Wasn't it Blight? Yeah, it's a 4th level spell, Blight.
Oh, okay, whatever.
So
I'm down with selling
the
it.
prices
No.
for spell books are basically based on whatever the highest level spell is.
I see. Are you guys fine selling it? You want to sell it?
I don't think
1,000
so.
gold, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that is.
I was more asking the party.
I mean, I'm fine with. We got to give her something for doing all this identifying.
Is there
What?
anything else in this? Was
Pay her
it just the
money.
robes and the book? Is that all?
And sending stones.
Oh, yep.
Earth
And
Globe,
those are
Sending Stones,
possibilities.
Robe, and Space Helmet are the ones that pinged as magical.
We
Yeah,
could get rid
I'm
of the
fine.
sending stones. They just strike me as useful.
They are.
Okay. So book.
Yeah, works for me.
All right. Yeah, we'll sell that book.
All right. So Obaya actually pulls out what looks to be like a little checkbook. Right. She goes into her satchel that she's always wearing on the side. She pulls it out, and she starts to write what is basically a check. And she tears it out and gives it to you and says that you can take this to the exchequer at Pirgron's palace, right? The place where you all originally met with the Lords of Waterdeep, or some of the Lords of Waterdeep. There's basically what amounts to as like a government bank there, where she has the majority of her funds invested. So you can go there and use this to pull out 100 platinum.
Okay.
She can't just keep it on her because she is not a group of adventurers like you guys.
Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and add 100 platinum and just assume that I'm gonna do that before we do some other stupid stuff.
As long as you guys like make a time slot to actually go do it, that's fine.
I mean, I'll just go do it right now, like before I head back.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah,
You're muted, Jacob.
you're muted, Jake. Yeah,
You're muted.
I was not. You can hear me.
nope, definitely not. That is definitely not the case.
I would be totally down for doing some coin exchange.
Yeah, that's actually something you guys can do at the exchequer, anyways.
That'd be
so
great. We need to do that.
yeah, you can definitely. So doing that at a guild is a charge, right? Like they charge like a nominal fee, like a 1% fee or something like that. Well, not really nominal if you're moving large quantities of coin. But the government functionality does it free of charge. It's a service to the public. But the problem with that is like doing it at the exchequers at Pirgron's palace is slow because a lot of people do it. So it's like waiting in a line at a really big but busy bank, basically. Yep. So you might wait up to like an hour or two trying to get your money exchanged and get stuff drawn out, etc.
Well, and we could also just have.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Again, right? We're playing D&D, so as long as you guys decide this is what we want to do for the next 2 hours, we go hand wave. That's what you did for the next 2 hours,
Okay,
right?
well, here's a question though. I obviously am interested in joining a crafting guild.
Sure.
Do members get free free currency exchange or reduced rates?
You would have to investigate that, but my instinct would be to say probably.
That would be my instincts as well.
That might not be.
The
an
only thing to
initial
be
perk.
though, the only question is what
How
kind
much are
of
my goddamn fees?
fees to join, things like that, but also a question of like what guild What guild is Bones the Bone Crafter gonna join?
The
Obviously,
Bonesmithing Guild.
The Bone Crafting Guild?
I don't think there's a bone crafting guild in Waterdeep.
Okay, I'd like to found the Bone Crafting Guild, please.
Oh, would you? That is gonna require a founder's fee.
How much is that?
I don't know, but I can figure it out if that's something you actually want to do.
5 gold?
Oh no, sir.
7 gold.
To get a guild charter is way more. Like, we're talking several hundreds, if not thousands.
Well, several hundreds I could do.
Yeah, several hundreds could be a possibility. But if that is something you're interested in,
look into that later. Okay,
yeah, if
you're
that's
taking
something
it
you're
back?
interested in, definitely let me know and we can talk about it in between sessions.
Okay, I'm removing Ashes' 3,000 silver from my
I
wallet.
have denoted.
Okay,
that I
so
have taken it
so after spending some time with Obaya, you guys a couple rounds are bought for you. You spend some time with her. She goes through things. You sell the spell book to her, and then you decide you're gonna go to Pergeron's palace to exchange some money, pull out the amount that Obaya has paid you. If you guys any exchange that you want to do, right? You guys know what the rates are, so don't fuck up your math. So go ahead and do that if you guys would like. You do basically stand around for about an hour and a half before you can make it through to actually get your money exchanged. There's a fair amount of traffic around right now as you're traveling through the city. It's cold, right? Midday is cold. It's the middle of November, basically. Uktar. And the city itself is getting ready for the freeze. In fact, you hear criers at the corners of streets, right? And they talk about plenty of different things, right? They talk about the most recent local murder or crime that's happened, right? They talk about the next great tourney that's going to happen. They talk about feasts that have happened. They talk about plenty of things, but one of the things that you hear criers saying as you're traveling through the city, right, is that the first freeze, has come early, and that the roads north are already frozen over. So last sheaf is on the 20th, and it's basically like a combination of a little bit Thanksgiving, a little bit Christmas, right? So people have small feasts with the individuals they love, or family, or friends, or coworkers, things like that. But they also exchange like gifts of like small gifts, right? Mostly of food, things for it's partially like celebrating the harvest, partially, celebrating the coming togetherness, right? Because families typically stay in during the winter, right? But it's also the time when the city begins to prepare to shut down, right? Travel begins to stop as the winter comes and the snows come and the freeze comes, right? The ice begins to form around the harbor. Ships stop traveling. The caravans stop traveling, etc., right? So that's happening. It's the 17th right now, so that's happening in 3 days, and the city's kind of getting prepared for that. So there's not a whole lot of preparation and festivities that happens for that, because it's more like private banquets and meals and things that happen, rather than like the whole citywide. But the city is preparing from a structural, like, government scenario. Like, caravans are making their last preparations to leave the city, and the last couple of ships are coming in and out of the city. So there's a lot of hustle and bustle about that right now.
Oh, yeah, what did she say about the bag? We definitely presented the bag.
The bag? Oh, okay, so she identified the bag, which basically is a amped up bag of tricks. So what you guys, the important things for you guys to know, right, is that it has 3 uses per day. Okay? And that once you pull a creature from it, wolf in this case, once you pull wolf from it, right, the creature can stick around for an indeterminate amount of time until it is a new day or it perishes. But you do have the ability to dismiss it should you choose.
As with screaming deer.
Yeah, as with massive deer in small location. So,
Who screams?
well, so
Okay.
that would be the
so
important thing.
While we're on the way to this exchange, do we want to like stop by and talk about gems somewhere, or do we just want to go? I assume they don't.
So
buy
I would
gems.
ask
Well,
this.
a jeweler
What if we
or-
got some necklaces made to commemorate our first foray into the dungeon?
We don't have 4 of the same gems.
Well, we're not all the same people.
Accurate.
I guess.
That's true.
Or
Gems
you
that
get
got-
bracelets.
Okay, we'll deal with
Let's-
gems
if
later.
that's your
Then.
thing.
I guess.
I was gonna. So if you
Currency
guys
exchange first, and then gems later.
If you guys want to deal with gems, we can deal with gems. If you want to save those for later, we can save those for later. If you're just going to sell them, again, that's like another scenario of just saying, okay, we make time to go to a jeweler or a market and sell those, and then I'll give you a price tag for them.
Yeah, I think we should just sell
I'd
them.
say, yeah, just sell them.
Well, I mean, I have other questions, but
Well, so
Let's go to the questions.
shoot with your other questions.
okay, if I set a gem in a fucking dagger or something, can I use that as a focus? Does the type of gem matter? Can it help with enchantment?
Absolutely can help with enchantment. Absolutely does matter, right? Obviously, I say the pure rarer stones, but basically it just means the more expensive a gemstone, typically the more magically enchantable it is. And I like to play up certain things. So like if you're doing like a flame tongue enchantment, right, and you do 500 gold ruby, then I'm like, yeah, right. If you're like, I do a 50 gold sapphire, I'm like, eh.
Also, Jeremy,
You know?
I'm noticing in this list of gems you gave me that the zirconium or whatever is not on here, and neither was the agate.
It should be above that. I listed those separately. Yeah, there's at the top of that, but above the gold total, there's the banded agate and the zircon.
Ah, okay. I didn't really put those on.
Because
there.
those were technically not a part of the treasure hoard. That's
Got
why
it,
they were
okay.
listed separately on my situation.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I'm down with selling. I mean, I would just like to maybe get them appraised or something.
Hey, I'm just throwing this out there. More money means more potions.
You're not wrong.
More money, more potions.
Or more bags of holding.
The bag of holding situation is based on supply right now. All right, we don't have the supply.
Yeah, Jake. We don't have the supply.
Supply.
Supplies.
Okay. Ooh, that one's worth a bunch. Okay. So what do you guys want to do now?
Do we know how much we're getting for gems?
Or do you guys want to go do that? Get all your gems and jewelry appraised?
Yeah, might as well
Yes.
do it all.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
get it appraised.
If you guys, is there anything out of that stuff that all of the gems and jewelry that you guys have gotten? Is there anything you're wanting to keep?
I mean, I don't know. It depends what they say.
No.
Okay, so the random assortment of gems that you got from the treasure hoard are each of those are 100 gold cuts. Okay, the agate is a 10 gold gem. The zircon is a 50 gold gem. You guys have a couple of other things that you had. The copper crown with the 6 arrowhead shaped malachite spires is 75 gold. The silver necklace with the bloodstone pendant gets a couple of oohs and ahs from the jewelers. It is a exquisite piece, is what they call it. It's 250 gold. The small silver locket is nice, sterling silver. It's good quality, good workmanship. So it's 25 gold. There's a silver ring as well, right? Oh, I don't know if you guys wanted to sell that or not. The silver ring engraved with dwarven symbols commonly associated with fertility and sexual potency. I don't know who ended up with that one. I don't remember.
It's not in my list.
I don't have that one.
Lost to
Matt
the sands
hides
of
his hand in his pockets.
lost to the sands of time. Apparently,
That explains everything.
No, I actually don't have it. I just...
that one is lost forever. Then I think that
Yeah.
about sums up the jewelry that you guys found, like
I
the
also
gems and
had
jewel that you
those-
found.
I had that ewer and the
Right.
chalice.
You remember where you got those from? Were they from? They were from the Troll Horde, right?
Floor 1, room 18.
Oh, the same place I got my antlers. I think that's the stank room.
The stank room.
Yeah, that's the Troll Room. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So the each of those is worth 25 gold. They are both decent little pieces, right? Nothing super special about them, but they're crafted well, right? So you can get 25 gold or both of those, or for each of those.
Were we keeping track of all that, or are you gonna give like a total?
I have it set out, and I can give you guys a total if you want. If there's nothing that you're wanting to keep, I can give you a total.
Total us up.
So, all right.
Totally, Daddy.
Total.
I mean,
Unless
if it,
Zach, you wanted one for.
if
your-
it works out to where like my cut is like 200 gold, I want to just keep 2 of them back. But if it doesn't work out that way, then
The total for all of the gems and jewelry is 1460. So divided by 4, that would be 365. Hey.
okay.
365. 365.
Okay, so if I keep 2 back, it's 12 something.
Just a second. So if you keep saying you keep back 2 from your portion, basically.
Yes.
So you'd still have 2 gemstones and you'd have 165 gold.
Okay. Yes, I would like to do that.
So feel free to
What is
pick.
the total that we got?
The total is 1460. Individual is 365. So
Okay, are any of these like associated with different things, like different
as
elements or anything like that? Or...
I would say use your best judgment, basically, because that's what I use, right? So, jade, obviously, right? That's more of the life or godhood or royalty, anti-magic, those types of things, right? Jet is that kind of like deep black, almost obsidian-like scenario, right? So, I mean, it's kind of just a what do you want to do?
Yeah.
But there's
Okay.
there's nothing if you're wanting to hunt for specific ingredients to your crafting, right? That's like hey Jeremy, I want to get this thing enchanted with, just to
Not
use the
really
flame
this
tongue,
time.
right? Again, as an example, I want to get this enchanted with a flame tongue enchantment, right? And I want it to be as good as possible. All right, let's go on a quest for a badass fucking ruby or like the heart of a red dragon or some shit, So-
Dang, let's do the red dragon. All right, I'm gonna keep a garnet and the jet.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna sell everything else,
Sounds good. All right, so if that's the
and
case,
then I'll take my 165.
awesome. You guys can each mark down 365 gold, and Zach keeps 165 and 2 gems. All right. So combining mid-afternoon, you come out of the dungeon at mid-afternoon. You go to you spend a little time with Obaya. You go to the exchequer. Spend probably an hour and a half there getting money exchanged.
Do you
Go
need to know
to-
what our exchanges are, or you're good with us just...
No, I mean just don't fuck up your math, assholes.
Just double checking.
No.
So
10 to
4,000 gold would be
It's 10 to
400
1 all the way.
platinum, right?
Yeah, 4,000 gold is 4,000 or 400 platinum. It's everything is a 10 to 1. all the way up the scale, except for Electrum, which is
I think I'm the only one with. So
that's fine.
Yeah.
But if anyone has any concerns, feel free to message me and I will double check math, right? But I think it should be fine. As long as no one suddenly ends up with 50,000 gold, we should be good.
So
You know?
1,500 silver is 150 gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just subtract a digit.
15 platinum.
Oh, 15 platinum. Yeah, that's even better.
Yeah, if
Which,
you're going for weight,
going by
platinum's where you want to go. But I will say platinum is less accepted. Most places in Waterdeep are still gonna use it, but you're gonna get funny looks, right? Gold is the currency of trade.
It's like taking a Benjamin to a gas station.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not going
I mean,
all
that's
the way down.
100% what it is.
I'm just trying to, like, make some room.
Yeah. Buddy boy.
So
All right.
8,000 gold would be 800 platinum?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And so
How much
if
fucking
you
money
guys
do you got, bro?
if you guys ever get to the point to where you're like, even with platinum, we still have way too much money, that's when you start investing in gemstones or artwork or things like that. You start investing in things that you can still hold on to, right? You can leave at the house, but they don't take up as much space as, as 80,000 platinum.
Actually, there's no point.
Actually, at this point, I'm pretty much good with heading back to the.
So I was
manor.
gonna say, so after going through the whole jeweler's scenario, at the market, it's probably around 5:30 or 6, in the evening. So it's getting on to the point to where like shops are starting to kind of close down for the day. People are ending their normal workday and going about their evening business.
Well, if that is the case, I would like to take the opportunity to speak with Fala if they are available.
Yeah, so you guys everybody ready to head back to Troll Skull?
Assuming we're cool with going back to the manor.
Yeah.
That's the plan. All right, so you all head back to Troll Skull, and so when you get there, Ashes, you can head over to talk to Fala. They answer the door to Corellin's Crown. Corellin's Crown, I think, is actually how it's pronounced. But they seem not displeased to see you, right?
Good.
They just, hello.
Good evening. Is this a bad time?
No,
So
I'd kind of closed the shop already for the day, but
right. Well,
I'm assuming
this is
you're
a little
not
bit of
here
business,
for-
but no,
right.
you're right. Right. Just something the future endeavor. Originally, I spoke to you about doing some work with greater potions, and after having trusted you with my equipment,
Which is going
and-
along fine, by the way, just as a heads up. There have
6
been
hours.
no
I
issues so
already
far.
wor-
In 6
Good.
hours.
I'm glad to hear that. Now originally you
I think
wanted
that was a
to-
couple days ago when that agreement
I thought it
happened.
was
That was
just this
yeah.
morning.
No, that was
Okay.
not just this morning. That was a couple days ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
I actually have it listed here when I started that.
on the timeline. Yeah, I don't know if you have it listed when you started it. You definitely have it listed when they're finished.
or when it's going to be done.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's a 10-day, so it's just the 14th would have been when that happened.
Gotcha. There you go.
So it'll be done in a 10-day.
Yep.
So
So Fala is there, and they basically say, so what is it you're needing?
Originally, you wanted a deal where we would purchase a certain amount of greater potions from you on a regular basis,
If
which
I'm
I had to turn down.
sure.
But I would like to propose a different deal.
I'm listening.
Since funding isn't going to be guaranteed, what if we pre-purchased these potions from you, and you could put them together when you can and deliver them to the manor.
Sure, that seems like something that can be done. If I will have to charge you more than normal price for the fact that it's basically working on call.
What? We live
that
next
is
door. What do you mean on call?
I don't tend...
I'm not there. This is that.
Okay. Well,
What does she mean on call?
they will explain, right, that part of the establishment of the deal previously, right, the concept of it was that this not being something that they normally make means that they have to go through a little bit of extra trouble to acquire the ingredients and get everything set up and go through the motions of actually brewing these potions, and that the only way to make it feasibly affordable for them and a fair exchange, right, is if they knew they were going to be selling a certain amount of this consistently, right? So that was the establishment of the, if you buy this many a month, right, or this many a 10-day, then I can guarantee that I can make this many in a 10-day because I'm receiving a supply of income that guarantees it, right? If you're only purchasing an amount where it's like, I want you to make a grader for me, and you're giving them the money then they need additional money because it's not consistent work, right? They can't establish a consistent timeline and supply chains and things like that are a realistic method of doing this in mass. And I'm not saying it's going to be like, oh, it's going to take the price from 3,000 to 40,000. It'll be like a, I don't know, probably a 5 or 10% upcharge.
Now, if you would like to think overnight on pricing and what you think this would cost, that'd be fine. But if you know what you would charge for this kind of service, I might be able to go ahead and send you some money right now.
Yeah, prepay, motherfucker.
Get that money.
Fala will say, if this was something I was doing consistently, like with my regular potions, then I could establish agreements with my suppliers, get some deals cut, and keep the price down. Since I'll only be making them on request, I would increase my normal charge from, I gotta calculate in my head because there's actually a range that a greater healing potion qualifies for. So I'm gonna say Fala would say I would normally charge 250 gold for a healing potion. And if it's an on-demand situation, I will need to charge 300.
20% price up.
I think we can work on that. I think we can do that for now until we have either let's say an actual steady amount of money
Arrangement,
that we have.
right? Sure.
Yeah.
And
for now,
Fala will say they are more than willing to work through this with you, right? That if this becomes a sustainable thing and it's a little more frequent than anticipated, then maybe we can make some soft agreements, right? And the price can drop a little bit then, that type of thing. So.
Well, I guess in that case, I've got another question for you. Do you accept platinum?
Fala will kind of chuckle. Yes.
It's legal tender, all right?
Fala deals in a lot of medicinal scenarios, so they are more used to if any location in Waterdeep, aside from like maybe like a bookstore or something like that, Fala is used to handling larger quantities.
Okay. I'm gonna have to shuffle some numbers around real quick.
And Fala's a part of a guild, so Fala has easy access to things like that. Is there anything else you had need of them?
I'm going to request the production of a number of greater potions, and also just to buy some regular potions.
Okay.
If
How many?
okay, let's
Got
say
Famalama.
I will give her.
Them.
Sorry, them.
Fine. What you want?
Let's give them 180 platinum
Damn. That's
for to get 6 greater potions of healing
damn.
going. Yes.
Okay. Sure. Okay, so
I'm just making sure that my math
Fala's
is
like,
correct.
and you weren't okay. Oof. All right. Sure. We can do this.
She says, "Do I take platinum?"
Oh, it's gonna be a good winter.
And yeah.
Now, bear in mind, in fairness, right, a good portion of this is gonna go to cost of materials, right? That's why it costs so much.
Look,
But still, Fala's like, even in that scenario, though, Fala's like, oh, I will be making a tidy sum off of this. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Right now, I have 1 greater in my pocket. I've got 4 being produced. That'll be done at the end of the 10-day.
Yep.
And then these, I believe, would be a good start
Yes.
for the party.
So Fala will let you know it's the 17th. They won't be able to get started on them until the morrow, so will be from the 18th to the 28th. So they will be available for pickup for you on the 28th.
All right, I will note that.
Okay.
Uktar 28th. 6 potions of greater healing.
Are you buying any regular potions from Fala right now?
Yes.
How many do you want?
I mean, do they have a limited quantity that I need to worry about?
Guys have been kind of as long as it's not crazy, no.
Okay.
700.
That's crazy, no.
600.
That's still anything in the hundreds is crazy, no.
How much are these per?
50.
Oh, that's not that many. 100.
I will give her 25 more platinum for 5.
25 more platinum for 5.
Is that right?
5, yeah.
That's
25
50.
platinum is 250, so 5 would, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So Fala has 5 potions on hand easily.
Okay.
So they will kind of. I'm assuming the conversation has brought you into the kind of the little foyer, the little lobby area already. So they'll kind of sigh and go back and grab the potions and actually, like, because as they said, they'd kind of closed up shop for the evening already. So, but I mean, it's a chunk of change, so Fala's not gonna argue too much. So you are 250 platinum poorer and 5 potions of healing richer.
Correct. That has been noted.
All right. Is anyone else buying potions from Fala or anything like that?
174.
I'd probably pick up 3 if they're available.
Yeah.
I gotta know.
So yeah, 3 is definitely available. So that's another
Those are
150 gold from you.
I'm
Fala
assuming
probably
15
has
platinum will suffice.
Yeah, 15 platinum suffices. Fala probably has anywhere between 25 and 40 potions of healing on hand the majority of the time. But you guys have been buying pretty consistently, so they're having to like the workstations are fired up and running like full steam consistently right now. So
Ramping up.
yeah, we're ramping up production. All right, anything else?
Not from her.
I believe that'll get me covered. I appreciate your willingness to work with me, and I look forward to doing business with you in the future.
Thank you.
Scratch me. Yeah, so Fala will see you both out, and yes, you're very welcome. Your patronage is it is appreciated. I'm sorry for the size, I'm just tired.
And
I'll get to
late,
work
I
on
understand.
your request. So, you two have a good evening.
You too. And
Hello.
I will excuse myself.
They'll head back into their shop and actually get to put the closed sign out now. So you guys head back over to the Lifted Spirits. Anything you guys want to do, or are you just heading around back and going upstairs to bed?
For tonight, I think a night's rest is a good idea.
Yes, once we get back to the Troll Skull, I'm going to offload a bunch of items off my person to make more room for carrying when in the dungeon.
Okay.
And
So
I'm just gonna
So I
take it
just
out of my
yeah.
shit. If you don't mind, I'll just throw it in a Google document of what I took off my person.
Yeah, well, you can just notate that you have like stuff back at home in a chest, right?
Yeah.
And let's keep it in game. So either use one of your other tabs, like your little biofields or something like that, or if you need, I can put a handout for you to notate stuff in your room or whatever.
Compromise. A link to the Google Doc in my bio page.
That's fine. I can accept that. A link is still access to the information. It's
Okay.
when you guys like make a list in Google Docs and then I never have access to knowing what you have. And normally this is not a me thing. This is a you guys forget about stuff. So occasionally I'm like, "Hey, you know that one thing you had?" Right? So
I don't know where you get that from.
I
Jamie.
don't know
You'll
at
never
all,
forget
right?
anything.
So a link
Alright.
was fully
It
acceptable.
is done.
Awesome. Cool. Anything else you guys want to do? So you
Sleep.
all right. So you avoid the Lifted Spirits for the evening. Head round to the stairs and up into the apartments of the manor itself. Offload your gear. Shower, right? You have like there are baths in this place. You can actually clean the grime.
Prestidigitate only does so much.
Right. Have yourself a soak. Bones, there is a kind of squabbly owl in next to your room. That kind
Oh.
of squawks and
Yeah, I don't have anything. I go downstairs to get him some food.
okay.
All
You
I have
are
are rations.
Yeah. You are actually kind of intercepted as you are going downstairs.
I thought Meloran was coming to get this dude.
Huh?
I thought Meloran was coming to get this dude.
Melanor.
Melanor?
Melanor. Who's Meloran?
I don't think anyone is Meloran. That is what you did arrange that, didn't you? When was that? Has it been a
When
couple
Dad
days?
died.
Was it when Dad died?
Yes.
Oh.
It was
the owls-
after that because it was when
Yeah.
you went back and officially joined the.
I didn't arrange it. One of
Yeah.
y'all were like, "Hey, will you go and get Gad the bird?"
If that was the tail end, then it's definitely happened. Then so never mind. The bird is no longer there. I thought the bird was still there. My bad. Either way, though, whether you're heading back downstairs to get food for an imaginary bird that does not exist, or whether you all are staying
Yeah,
upstairs.
Whatever. I go and get food for myself.
I was gonna say, eventually, you are either intercepted or there is a knock on the door, and Annowing arrives with a tray of food. As your presence did not go unnoticed by Cine, and he has had food brought up to you. As
What a guy.
What a boss!
Such a good butler. He really
Art-
deserves a pay raise.
part
We should
of,
give him more money.
what he does.
I
you know?
spent it all on potions.
I spent it all
You
on
really
keeping
did.
my ass alive.
I have 1,000 platinum.
Well, that's not going to do that necessarily, Jeremy.
Well,
but attempting
plus
to
some.
stay alive.
attempting to stay alive. For tonight's meal, there is a wonderful pot pie with some sort of fowl as the meat additive. There are mashed yams, a coarse rye bread, and a raisin pie.
Dope. Yo, how many employees do we have? Do we have like 4?
Oh, way more than 4, buddy.
5.
5? Way more.
5 or
Jeremy.
6.
There are
It's-
currently 8 employees of the Lifted Spirits Tavern.
I don't remember hiring 8.
Where are the
people.
other 2?
There's Cine,
One.
the Seneschal. There is Guillaume, the head chef. There is Threnarv, the scullion. There is Annowing, the server. Agilon, the security dragon. Alan Pogza is your
The
larder.
bouncer dragon.
Lift is your barkeep. And your newest recruit, Anastas, is the entertainer.
Do
okay.
we pay Lift?
Lyft doesn't get paid though.
Lift still counts as a worker in your bar.
Okay, is the larder on duty tonight, or does he just stock up before during the closed hours?
Early
Depends.
in the morning, probably.
Yeah, normally it's early in the morning, but sometimes it's
Alright.
like late evening.
I'm trying to send a tip, and I need to know how many of my employees are down there. I don't understand.
It doesn't.
this line of questioning.
If you wanted to tip, you would need to tip for 7, right? Because Cine, whether they were all present, Cine would hold it for them until they got there.
Okay. I'll send 14 gold down.
Annowing will 14 gold.
Yes, 2
Holy
for both. 2
crap.
for each. Is that a lot?
Annowing will say, "Thank you, sir. You're very generous. We appreciate that greatly, very much. That is for Annowing. That is a third of her salary for a week.
Okay, it's 2 gold each. That should be clear.
That is a third of her
That's
salary
what
for
he
the
said.
week. Annowing
well-
makes 6 gold a 10-day at your tavern.
Well, we just made like 800 platinum or some shit. I don't
Yeah, you guys are, but you're sharing the wealth, and that's a good thing for your employees.
All right.
Annowing will let you know that she doesn't know the particulars, right? But Anastas was excited about something they found. Some person that was willing to sell something. Again, Annowing doesn't have the particulars, but she thought it would. But she'd.
Sure. Hey, yeah, if he's down there, mention we're up here whenever he gets a break.
She says she will send them up when there's a little bit of a crowd downstairs right now, but when the crowd thins, she'll send them upstairs.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, does anyone remember what we sent him after?
Yeah.
Nope.
I do not. Sorry, them. What we sent them after?
You sent them after an item that could heal.
Oh. Okay. I have no memory of that.
it was in that weird limbo state where you guys were like, what are we want to employ Anastas. What are we doing with Anastas? Make them find things for us. Make them track things down. Make them an entertainer. So now they're kind of everything.
Sweet. That's exactly what we
Jack
need
of
from a
all
changeling.
trades.
Yeah. Basically, they're like a court bard. They entertain at your establishment, but they also keep their ear to the ground, listen for rumors, ask about things, etc.
Dope. Okay.
So if there's nothing else that happens, right? About probably an hour and a half passes, and then Anastas comes upstairs, and they are. I say Anastas comes upstairs. There's a knock at your door, and an incredibly beautiful high elf woman in a regal. I'm not gonna say it's not like there's definitely some sex appeal to it, but it's more upscale, right, than like a hoedown type scenario, right? It's is standing there, and there's a moment, like there's a brief moment, and then there's a ripple on the skin, and then standing there, still in this regal dress, is blue-skinned, bulbous-faced Anastas, right? And they're like, "Hey, boss."
I like him.
I figured I'd drop the act when I got up here. Didn't want to.
Hey, boss.
Can I come in?
Am I the boss?
I assume you're at the door.
Oh,
It might not have been you, but
whatever. Yeah, come in.
and so Anastas will come in, and there's
Looking good, by the way. Sweet dress.
thanks. I bought it with my advance. Cine was good enough to give me a little bit to get started.
Nice, nice.
Anyways, right, I found, well, I say found, I met a person that might have something you're interested in. You said you were looking for something, an item that could heal, an artifact of power, right? There's this lady that comes in apparently pretty frequently, every other day or so. And kind of old, kind of crotchety, but she normally has I don't know, one of those big metal things with her, but she makes it wait outside.
A walker?
Sure, yeah, a walker, right?
Yes, a walker.
What is she talking? I don't know what he's talking about. A
fucking
cane?
like a giant robot, dog.
But
Oh,
Anastas doesn't understand what you're saying though, so they're
don't
just
know.
like a walker. Yeah, sure, that's what we'll call them.
yeah, it walks.
So Anastas is like, there's she was complaining about something. I don't remember what. But someone she was talking to was talking about how she was a wizard, right? And how the business was doing, and some services got mentioned, something about warding or something or other. I'm not sure about all of that, but they started talking about some items, and that's when I kind of jumped in. She called it a staff of healing that she'd be interested in selling.
Okay. Ezra uses staffs.
Apparently, I kind of asked her a little bit about what the particulars were, but apparently it has a bunch of different ways that it can be used to heal people. So it kind of sounded like what you were looking for.
Sure.
Her name's Olcoria Stone Mantle, or is it Stone Marrow? Stone Mantle, but it might be.
Is this him musing because he doesn't know the name, or do you not know the name?
That's both. We'll say. use the opportunity, and I will say they are musing. They're like, is a stone marrow mantle. I know it's Okuria. That's definitely it. Anyways, is there anything else you want me to do for this in particular, or keep my ear to the floor still on this type of thing?
You guys, staff thing. Staff healing sounds pretty good. Pretty promising.
Basically, they're asking if you still want them to be listening for healing up.
Yeah.
So as
you
a
want
heads
him to
up,
find
right?
you a bag of holding.
To keep this situation from being Anastas just comes and tells us about 50,000 items every time we come upstairs. Basically, what I'm gonna make you guys do is you have to set them on the trail of a type of thing, right?
Yes.
We want a piece of protective leather armor, right? Or we want a specific type of set. We want a magic shield, right? So rather than them listening for everything in the world, right? Which is, you guys already have access to like the magic shop network, or
Can you
the
find
magic
us bags of holding?
bags of holding. One of them, the stinkers, the bigger inside than outside.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You use 2 more of those if you can find them.
Or more.
Well,
You do not need to carry around 10 bags of holding.
I know
Not
people.
yet.
If we find a dragon horde, you'll regret saying that.
No,
I
I
know-
will not.
I know people. I know from my past dealings that people tend to be pretty handsy with those suckers. Like, there seem to be plenty of them in the world, but people tend to not want to part with them because they're pretty useful. But I can keep an
agree.
ear out. Yeah, definitely.
Appreciate that.
Hey, where does Okuria
So,
live?
like, once a week, it's a scenario like Anastas just finds you like a bag of holding for a week, and 3 years later, you guys just have 7,000 bags of holding.
We
Also,
started this,
if
Jeremy.
you get the beat on any magical arrows, I could use something to beef up the bow if we get into a fight at range.
You gotta give him one target.
Bags of holding.
Oh, sure, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, like a one target per acquisition scenario. So he'll look for bags of holding until they find a bag of holding, and then we'll move on to something else, right? Or
Yeah,
if it goes for too long, you guys can be like, stop worrying about the bag of holding. We found some other alternatives. Look for this thing instead, right? So that's kind of how we'll play the. So someone asked where Okuria lived. Is that what?
Yeah. Or alternatively, was she in yesterday? If she comes in like every other day.
She was in yesterday.
Okay. So she's not in today.
She was not in today.
Okay.
And
So she might be in tomorrow.
she might be in tomorrow. Anastas has no idea, and so Anastas will kind of like sit and chat with you about this, right, or about the whole thing. But basically, when this comes up, Anastas kind of gets all hushed and is like, "So, no one actually knows where she lives, apparently." Like, I asked around, trying to dig up a little bit more information on her, see if she's trustworthy, that whole type of thing. Apparently, she's a bit of a mystery, and no one knows. She just shows up in the city, does her rounds, and then disappears.
All right. Well.
And the entire time, she's got that thing walking beside her. Big
Yeah, the
old
walker.
metal man.
We got a lot of metal men back on Eberron. They're all over the place. Just everywhere.
Where's Eberron?
He's an alien, Anastas.
It's a long story.
And that's kind of looks at you,
Grab
Matashtai.
yourself
It's
a
just
drink.
like, well, I mean, not to belittle the scenario
grab
or
my
anything, but I probably know how you feel.
Take him over to the bar and pop a squat and tell him about Eberron.
All right.
He's got another shift, like the late
They,
shift.
so they will say, they will drink for a little while and they'll chit chat, and you have time to mosey with them, right? To just kind of chill and talk, everything like
Dude
that.
gets back
But
from work, you're like, get back to work.
but after
not say that.
after probably about 20 or 30 minutes or so, they will begin to excuse themselves and say, hey, I do need to go do like a last little performance before the night ends, right? They will eventually excuse. All right. So, anything else for the evening? Nope.
For the evening, I don't have anything.
All right, sounds good. So you guys rest. Rest. And it is Uktar the 18th. And it is a cold morning. You guys wake up and there is frost up the sides of your windows. Right? You guys don't have like glass windows, but you have like shutters, right? So there's just frost like creeping up the side of the stone and kind of like clinging to the wood. It's chilly. What do you guys want to do?
Chilly. Chilled up.
Go back down into the dungeon.
Magic shops.
Let's see. One night got me back only 2 of my hit dice of my 5. So
I mean, I
I
feel
don't
like we
think
can
we've hit
definitely
10-day
do.
swap over yet.
You guys have not hit the 10-day swap over. That will not happen until the 20th. On the 20th, the magic shops refresh.
What
What
day
day
is
is
it
today?
today?
The 18th.
Okay, well, let's just fucking chill on to the 20th.
Yeah.
Well, the 20th is also last sheep, so if you guys want to rest for a couple days and maybe talk to Okuria, maybe do some stuff around town, maybe some random errands, those types of things, and then
What if we have like an off
have
day?
the holiday.
What if we have an off day on the what's it? Today's the 18th.
Yeah.
We have an off day, and then we go back in the 19th, and we hopefully come back at 19th evening, and then holiday.
Sure.
Does anyone have any objections to that?
sorry, I was just updating the group timeline. What was the
Today is the 18th.
That will be incredibly antsy the whole time.
Today is the 18th. We take a day off. Jay gets his hit dice back. We do town things. We go back in the 19th. We come back out 19th midday and or night. 20th we have holiday.
Then in those downtime, in like when we're hanging out up in the town, I would like to be trying to find some work to do.
Okay, so that being said, so this would be the 18th. So the concept would be you don't go back into the dungeon on the 18th. You're going to stay up and you're going to sleep again tonight, and then on the morrow you will go back in the dungeon. So
Yeah, bright and early on the 19th.
Ezra's pretty hesitant about going back down there.
On the 19th?
you cut out at the end. Yeah, you said pretty hesitant about going back down there. Blank, 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 blank.
Without some sort of magic.
Well,
You hit
alright.
magic and then you blanked again.
He
It's
said
like
magical
the
healing.
Magical container.
transportation. Good friend.
Well, you may or may
You,
not.
sir, need to learn Tensor's floating disk. Can you even learn that as a sorcerer? Not that you would want to, considering you have such
I'm talking
a
like
limited.
bag of holding.
I know
not
what you're
okay.
talking about. I'm talking shit. Fuck you. So,
Okay, so I have several things that I want to do, but I can wait for if other people have things they want to do.
So let's just say normal morning stuff happens, right? You guys break your fast. Cine provides breakfast, right? You can either break your fast down in the tavern, or you can have meals delivered up to you. What is it? It is the 18th. You get kippers, duck eggs, currants, and oatmeal.
Yeah, we should definitely ask Cine. I would like to ask Cine about Okurio. Because this bro is, like, in the know, right? Like, to me, anyway.
Sure.
What does he know about her?
What does he know about Alcuria?
What time does she only show up? Does she have a house?
So he will answer your questions as best as he can, right? The tavern is normally not very busy in the morning. There are a couple of nearby individuals that have started to become kind of like regulars, right? They stop in and break their fast, right? Rather than make meals at home or just eat from the street vendors. Right, they stop in for a good meal at the Lifted Spirits to start their day off. So there's probably about like 3 or 4 regulars in here while you all are breaking your fast and kind of talking with. So Cine will tell you that Ulcuria normally comes in about mid-morning, most like every other day or so. That's not always every other day, but it's pretty regular. And that other than that, doesn't know a whole lot about her. He knows she is some sort of magician, wizard, something. She apparently provides a service around the city. She sells her talents for installing glyphs of warding on buildings throughout the city. And she seems to have he's saying this from his personal interpretation, his own insight, right? She seems to have some sort of interest in the Lifted Spirits in the building, right? That's why he thinks she shows up frequently enough, though of course, the establishment is great, right? There needs to be no other reason for her to show up, because who would not want to come to the Lifted Spirits?
Oh, what a good save,
right?
But also, he's pretty sure that she's got some other motive, right? That something else is up there. But he doesn't know what. He doesn't know where she lives, right? That's a big mystery, right? People apparently, like, this is a thing around the city, especially in the North Ward. People have tried to have her followed before. He always manages to give him the slip. And she always has with her one of Racine is a bit more upscale and knowledgeable than Anastas is. Racine will call it by what it is. We'll say she is always accompanied by her shield guardian.
Okay. Dang, shield guardian, alright.
By the way, Ezra would have attuned to those robes.
Ooh. Alright. Awesome.
If they're attunement, I don't remember.
I don't know if they're attunement or not. They are not attunement. Just wear them, apparently.
Do I know what the patches are ahead of time?
Yeah. So you know what all the common patches are. In between sessions, you and I will roll what all the extra patches are.
Cool.
So you'll know what those patches are. Yes, but. We'll do a fun little bit of rolling to see what all the extra odds and ends are.
It's a fun little bit of rolling.
A couple of battering rams that I can't carry, that could be fun.
Oh, hey,
Here you go, Aster.
you were asking
Here's a
for a way
battering
to
ram.
carry things. This is carrying things for you.
Technically true.
It's just when you uncarry them, you're kind of fucked after that point.
Just a little fucked.
Anyways, so after kind of like talking you through it, Cine will go about his business, getting ready for the kind of mid-morning brunch-ish time, right? Do you guys want to hang around and see if Ulcuria shows up, or do you have other things you would like to attend to?
So I personally feel like I have a fun day of bureaucracy lined up, so I would like to get an early start.
Okay.
But if you guys want to hang out, that's fine with me.
I mean, I'm willing to follow. If anybody's got things to do, yeah, I'll tag along. But what Ashes is going to be focused on is he's going to pull out his little black book that he has, and he's going to start sketching gricks and grells and all the creatures that we fought, and have descriptions for size, smell, weaknesses, and just kind of make a bestiary of all the things that he've run across inside the dungeon.
Awesome.
I'd actually like to hang out and paint more detailed versions of his drawings for him.
Cool. You guys should just put together an encyclopedia.
Like
Ezra
Bolo's
wants to
Guide
find
to
a
Monsters.
lockbox.
Ezra wants to what?
Find a lockbox.
Find a lockbox? That's easy enough, right? You can walk down the street to like the Bit Nail and grab a lockbox or something like that from.
A highly or a better, not just a layman's toolbox, but some
Sure.
like,
Yeah,
not a
like,
vault, not a vault, so to speak, but along those lines.
not a bank vault, right?
Yeah.
But no. A good sturdy lockbox that has a good lock on it, right? Yeah, easily enough at either the bent nail or the steam and steel. Got you covered either way. Cost you probably how big?
How big is the dragon scale?
Big, but not that big. I think it's like 6 to 9 inches wide, something like that.
Okay, so not a chest of drawers size, something that could slide under like a bed or.
Okay. So probably run you for a good lock, probably around 5 gold or something like that for a good sturdy chest that's not gonna get broken into by your level 1 thief unless they roll good.
Unless they get very lucky with the pins. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Knowing us.
Cool.
Sure. Yep. All right. Cool.
Is there a weight or some sort of a capacity?
Are
that
you
want me to
carrying that around on you?
No,
or-
it's going to be in a location. I'm just wondering.
No,
what my
you can
parameters
just
are
get
for
it. You can get it delivered, or you can just.
No, I
take
mean, what can be stored inside of it?
So space-wise, it's probably it's less concerned about how much weight you put in more like a size of things. You probably got a probably about a 2x1, right? For the length and width dimensions. And then maybe probably about these things tend to be like shallow, so probably about 6 to 9 inches high, right? So something you could easily slide underneath a bed, or maybe under a large chair. All right,
I'm gonna make a list of stuff that's in there, and if
the
you
stuff
look
that's
at
in
it
your
later-
chest. Sure.
If you look at it later and say that's not all gonna fit, just let me know.
Sure, yeah. We'll be like, we gotta buy a second chest. No, I'm assuming it'll probably. Okay, anything else you guys want to do? If you are,
I think I'm good.
if you guys are, so
Ezra would also stop over at Mertz or.
okay, so
I wanna
that's
do
like a
stuff.
traveling thing. So
Yeah,
that's you're gonna have to go out into the city type thing.
Just throwing that out there.
Is
at
there
some point.
anything you guys are you guys sticking around mid morning to see if Ilcuria shows up, or are you heading out into the city to do stuff?
I thought the two boys were.
So the two boys, Ashes and Matashtai, are hanging around the tavern, and they will potentially meet up with Ilcuria if she shows up. And then Bones and Ezra are heading out into the city to do business.
Business.
All right.
Ooh,
So I'm gonna ask Ezra and Bones real quick. Is this business that you guys want? Is this stuff that we could do on Discord in between sessions, or is this something you wanna do on screen? Either is
We
fine.
certainly could do it off. I don't care.
Okay.
Nothing important. Ezra's just trying to curry favors for a bigger folding or some sort of.
Correct.
game.
So, but you actually do want to touch base with him? Okay. Well, you and I can chat about that And maybe we take that to next week on screen. Maybe we figure that out in Discord. We'll see where that goes. But let's say in the meantime, while Ezrah and Bones are away, Ashes and Matashtai will play. And about mid-morning,
With old women.
this grumpy, kind of hunchbacked, saggy skin, wrinkled, gray hair, right? Woman comes in, and she's grumbling and muttering, and she walks right in to the Lifted Spirits, walks up to the bar, sits down like she has done this 100 times before, right? And bear in mind, your establishment has only been open for a couple months now, right? So she seems so incredibly at home, and she doesn't say anything to Sine, right? Who is standing nearby, cleaning, well, not cleaning, but organizing stuff. She doesn't say anything to him. She speaks to Lift directly, right? And she's like, give me a bottle of brandy. Make it snappy.
A whole bottle? What the fuck?
And the whole freaking bottle.
She kind of like sniffs and she says, Yum! What are you cooking back there? You got anything that isn't 3 hours old? And he kind of like, you hear this chuff from the back, from the kitchen, right? It's just, nothing is ever 3 hours old here, right? Just a little bit of like, go yourself, lady, right?
Yeah.
And she kind of laughs, right? Like she is at home and she's just giving old friends guff, right? But Lift floats a bottle of brandy open and unseals it, right? And starts to pour her a glass, and she makes herself at home.
I nudge Ashes.
So you've been around here before?
Kind of like, so she's like got both elbows up on the counter, like drank into this thing and just like looking and sniffing back towards the kitchen, and she just like slow turns, like half side eyes you, and like begins to tilt her head up, and the eye grows larger and larger and larger.
Damn,
and
she got some large on her?
larger. Like, till the eye is like this big as she's looking at you.
Super disconcerting.
And then she turns away and then looks back at you, and it's a normal eye.
Normal eye, normal eye.
And she says, yeah, I've been here a bit before. Regular, you might say. Points a finger at you, says, 2. You're the new ones, ain't ya? Not them ones that got the place. The ones that stepped in after, eh?
Yeah, that's us.
Yep, that'd be us.
Huh. Interesting. Look like fine lads. Strong. Worked a field in your life?
Take your shirts off.
I have, yeah.
Good. You ain't some stuck-up wannabe.
Tulip.
What you want?
Damn!
Harsh.
That's what she meant. What
But
do you
that's
mean?
actually
That's
absolutely what she means. What you want? What you bother an old lady for?
Oh, I wasn't trying to interrupt you. You just seem like an interesting person, and I
Trying to
wanted
interrupt
introduce
me,
myself.
interesting person. Yeah. Cut to the chase, old boy.
There's no chase. I just if I'm going to become a familiar around here myself, I thought it'd be nice to get to know the patrons, especially the returning ones.
Oh yeah. No particular reason. That ain't why you got your shifting friend listening to everyone's little stories here or there and taking down notes on that little pad of theirs, you know?
She's got you there.
Oh, you mean this? And I'll show her, like, here's my entry.
Boy, I
on
ain't
that.
talking about you. I'm talking about the blue-skinned one. The one who can change the face.
Oh, Anastas. Oh, he's good people. Usually you don't get
They are good people.
they are good people.
They're good people. They're good
Usually
people.
changings like that, they usually don't come out. Like, you don't see them. He's an honest working.
Are you just gonna beat around the bush, son, or are you gonna ask me something?
Yeah, you're taking a real long time to get around to anything.
I'm sorry. Who are you?
Looks at you and she says, "My name's Okurius Stone Marrow, and I used to own this place." And that is where we will go ahead and end our session for the night.
All right. Interesting.
Not exactly like a massive cliffhanger, but
No.
a little
Is she a dwarf?
tidbit of information. She looks human.
She looks
So
human.
she-
All right.
Killed her husband and made a run for it.
Can I get a
Her
copy
husband was
pasta
the troll.
Copy
of
pasta of
that
her name. Yeah, I'll give you guys a copy pasta of the name. Is Ulkuria Stone Marrow.
Stone Marrow sounds like such
I lied!
a dwarven last name.
I lied.
You lied?
She is a dwarf,
Lawyer!
actually. She is tall for a dwarf, but she is
Damn,
dwarf.
tall dwarf. Dwarf tall.
Apologies.
Not acceptable.
Pretty upset with you, but it's cool.
Mother. All right. Anyways, so a little bit shorter of a session tonight. We got started a little bit later due to technical difficulties. One of these days, I will make it a week without my audio or Roll20 trying to dumpster me. But that is not this week. Still, had fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. I am actually glad to be out of the dungeon for a little bit. You guys were in there for a very long time and you covered a lot of ground, and I was actually getting a little worried as to whether or not you guys were gonna keep pushing, because I thought you guys were fine, but I was thinking it was starting to get to the point to where like it could be like a overconfidence issue, and I was a little concerned.
I love how we either don't stay in there long enough or we stay in there questionably too long.
It's gonna be great.
There's no
One of
middle
the-
ground.
Like eventually, right? You guys are gonna get past the first couple levels, and it's gonna be like, yo, look, we just gotta camp. We just live here
You
now.
actually have to camp.
We just
in
live
the
here
dungeon.
now, and I'm gonna be like, you guys like make a base on like the 4th level, and you're like, this is home now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't
We
see how
have
we're
a
going to be able to do
fucking-
that, because if we
Wait.
leave it for any amount of time, it could just be completely taken over by
Why do you
anything
not
that runs
see
by.
how we'll be able to do that? We have an immortal vampire ally.
That's
I
true.
don't
There you
know
go.
if we can
So
revert
you're
that
telling,
You just gotta-
telling me that if we set up a base, Arthur is going to be our guard dog for
You
our
don't think
base?
Am would be willing to like set some fucking undead around it?
You won't know until you ask. Here's the thing. Every floor you have to find what the equivalent of the immortal vampire for that floor is. So
It's
you
a-
have
it's a
the
mechanic.
strongest ally on each floor hold the floor for you. You guys are
Yeah.
kingmakers. That's what you guys are.
King.
You're
King.
muted, Mitch.
King. King.
No, I'm not.
Well,
Fucker.
were you not? Oh, I thought you were.
No.
Sorry.
He was
I am
there.
T'Challa.
All right.
I was fucking in on that. You ruined everything.
I'm sorry.
I totally heard him. Yeah, you fucked it up, Jeremy.
I saw the mouth moving and I didn't hear any distinctive Mitch noises, so I thought it.
Mitch.
I thought
I
it was
am real curious what those are.
We were fucking
I was
in
part of the
time, bro.
chant. That's why.
part of the chant. All right, had a good time. I've lollygagged enough.
Thanks, everybody.
See you all
Have a
next
good night.
time. Have a good one.
Bye.
Peace out.